101 Myths of the Bible. Gary Greenberg. That might be a lot of the things you're saying. Everything good?
Right. Yeah, man, everything good.
Okay.
Suffering from a little bit of hay fever. But apart from that, I shouldn't complain. God is good. I got my life and limbs and health.
Main thing.
Trust me. All right. Sean. Sean? Do you have anything to say? Nope. All right. Let's see. Who we got here? Megatron. What's good, my brother? Megatron. All right. Somebody's asked a question. Kalam says David Wood. I actually like David Wood, you know. I actually like listening to David Wood. I think he's good. But because one of my brothers stuck it on me still, one of my brothers actually stuck it on me, I'm actually going to do a video. One of my Muslim brothers stuck it on me, shall I say. I'm actually going to do a video refuting David Wood. Yeah, as a peace offering gift. You know, my peace offering gifts are real controversial, same way. So I'm actually going to do a video, not refuting David. I shouldn't say refuting David Wood. It's not really refuting him, but addressing certain points that he made. I'm actually going to address it because it's necessary. So I like David Wood, but I'm actually going to address one of his videos soon if I ever have the chance. Alan Watts. I'm lost. I don't even know Alan Watts, you know. I know I should most probably know, but I don't know. Who's next?
Yo, Callum, can you hear me?
What's good, brother?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. All right, so listen, a little bit noisy. I'm on pavement at the moment, but I was listening in throughout the duration of your speech. Now, what we're talking about the universe, I find that very, very interesting because it's more or less what I believe. I hold dear to me. I don't call it God, though. I call it the creator. And if we look at that from a logical perspective, everything we know, think, do is created by the universe. And there's more evidence to prove a universe than there is to prove a God. So for me, that's enough. That's more or less the closest I can get to know of a real God or a proof of a God. I just wanted to put that out there.
Real talks. But I guess other people will say you're wrong for it. But I feel you. 100%. Gamer, are you there? See what other topics or questions you lot have. Again, family, yeah. Just message me. Knowledge dangerous to some, just like alcohol, drugs. Yeah. If you can't type into good Google, explain the nucleus a little, but you want to check. Hey yo, Mela Anse in the building. Al Bukhari says, is ISIS Islamic? Yeah, ISIS is Islamic. ISIS are you know what? Let me not speak like that because I don't know enough about ISIS. But what I do know of ISIS, they're very fundamentalist, literalists, and I do think that they're taking the Quran as literal as possible. So yeah, they are Islamic. Unfortunately, that they have erroneous interpretation of the Quran, but they are definitely Islamic.
Bro, they're the most un-Islamic you can get. Lord have mercy. I can't see how anyone can call them people Islamic, because to call them Islamic denotes that they have some sort of religious belief, and people that create or perpetrate atrocities like they do have no religious grounding whatsoever, in my humblest of opinions.
Yeah, I would say that they have no understanding of what their religion really had to teach in its day and era. That's what I would say. They have no understanding, and they have a very erroneous and faulty interpretation of what it is. But I do think that they can justify things that they do based upon hadith, based upon Quran and so forth. They can justify it based upon that. But when we ask them the context, or to use or utilize hermeneutics, or what did the Prophet actually do during these, despite these verses, what did the Prophet actually do? You'll find out there's a different story to it as well. So I do think that they're fundamentalists. You can literally find, verses inside of the Bible. Let's just say New Testament Bible, yeah. And Jesus says, grab a sword, like buy a sword, or only the dead bury the dead, and them type of vibes there, yeah. And people will start saying, yeah, fam, what I'm going to do? My mother's just passed away, but she's dead. I'm going to leave it, dead body there, and the dead will bury the dead. And that's a literalist way of understanding it. And I think that's what they are on. They just understand it literal. And they would most probably, if Jesus said that, and they were in, if Jesus was a Muslim as a prophet in their day and time, they would most probably leave their dead mother there and just carry on a day-to-day business and just think like, yes, somehow the dead's going to bury the dead. You know them vibes there? Megatron, is that you?
Fix your mic, Megatron. Fix your mic, bro.
Kalam, can I ask you a question which hopefully you can answer from your vast knowledge on Kemetic philosophy?
I'm in trouble right now. I've got that feeling. I mean, that setup right there is a steep fall. From your vast knowledge of Kemetic, understand. You just put me on that pedestal, yeah, and he's about to just knock me down right now. I love you, Megatron. What's good? Talk to me.
I was watching an EF Dawah video by Hamza the Hamster from Speaker's Corner, and he was talking about how the Bible is in error because in Genesis chapter 40, when it's talking about Joseph refers to Pharaoh as Pharaoh, whereas in the Quran, Joseph refers to the ruler of that time as king. And can I ask, was the term Pharaoh used in the time of Joseph?
Oh, Nizzo. No, it actually wasn't.
It wasn't.
Neither was the term king. No.
So both king and Pharaoh wasn't used in the time of Joseph?
Nope, neither of them.
What the father used?
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, no, neither of them were you. The reason why the Quran doesn't use the term Pharaoh for any other Pharaoh is because that's just the term used for the Pharaoh of Moses' time, Pharaoh, where some people literally believe that's just the name of that Pharaoh. So it's got nothing to do with, the Bible knew the difference between Pharaoh during Moses' time and the Pharaoh during such and such time. Like, nah, it's both erroneous. Even, during the supposed lifetime of Moses itself, the term Pharaoh or Pharaoh or Para'a was not used for a Pharaoh itself. So
why does the Bible use the term Pharaoh, Kalam? Is it because it was written after that time and...
Yes, it was written after that time. I don't want to be... Let me choose my words very wisely and carefully, because I don't want to say that the Bible categorically was written after the fact, i.e. Moses, and things. No, I'm saying that obviously the Bible, in terms of it's rewritten. It was rewritten roughly during the 6th or the 7th century BCE. Correct me if I'm wrong. What century was it?
Yes, something around that time. It was drawn from 5 sources: the priestly source, the Yahweh source, the Deuteronomy source, and some authors collected all of this into a single, what we now call Torah.
There you go. So sometimes they will just, what's the word? Anachronism. It's like an anachronism that's been placed back into time, basically.
Right. So both the Quran and
regardless,
the Bible are wrong in essence by calling the ruler of that time Pharaoh and king.
I wouldn't say that they're wrong. I wouldn't say that they're wrong in saying it, as that it's just that wasn't the name for pharaohs and kings during that time frame. It's like me now saying, the Pharaoh Ahmose. Like, it's not me being wrong to call the Pharaoh Ahmose, because he was a pharaoh and his name was Ahmose. But in his day and age, he just simply wasn't called a pharaoh.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to say it's wrong, It's very delicate. It's very hard. If you make the claim that the Quran knew the difference between a pharaoh and a malik during that time frame, I would say that's wrong. But the Quran nor the Bible tries to make that claim.
Right. Kalam, I've also been studying Genesis chapter 1 to 3 and also some other parts of Genesis, and it's got a striking familiarity with ancient Egyptian stories. And so, I've almost come to the conclusion that the author, whoever wrote Genesis 1 to 3, definitely borrowed creation accounts from stories at that time, because you see a striking familiarity with stories alongside that time.
Indeed.
Hey, yo, Megatron, you're scaring me now,
No,
Yeah, it's scaring me too.
Yeah. And so, for example, the creation account in Genesis, that's almost identical to the ones at that time. So I'm convinced that the Bible, well, whoever wrote Genesis 1 to 3, whether it was Moses, because in Acts chapter 7, we are told that Moses was trained by the pharaohs, and so he would have utilized the stories at that time in order to push his own understanding of God. Well, that's what I believe. Anyways, I'm not 100% on this, but with my little knowledge of this so far, that's what it seems like.
Wow. Okay.
Well done, Megatron.
Goddamn. I'm just going to mute my mic out now. You lot just talk. Come on. Megatron, you just shocked me. So you lot just jump in and talk, man.
Shalom.
So is Megatron still there?
I'm here, bro.
Yeah. Hold on. Hebrew brother is just let me get my Hebrew brother in. What's good on Hebrew brother?
Good. Yeah, Kalam. I don't know if you recognize who this is. If you look at the picture, you probably recognize who this is.
Yeah, man. Vital is vital, munch.
Yeah, trust me. I go by the name of your short still. But I think that subject is a good subject to go on, and I would like persons who have studied it, the similarities. Anyone around who studies similarities, if we can leave out the Babylonian narrative and focus on the Kemetic narrative, what the similarities and what the differences are with regards to the creation stories. I'd like to hear everybody's point of view, and then I'll cover my point of view after that.
Okay, so if anybody knows the similarities between the biblical and the Kemetic creation mythology story, please speak now.
Can I just give you one, and let's see what you think about the serpent that tempted Eve? Is that not like Apep in ancient mythology?
Yeah.
So
go on.
Yeah.
Right. What's happened to Megatron? What's going on here? Is this like some sort of conspiracy? Megatron, what's happened to you, bro?
No. This is basically there's a Christian scholar called Professor Michael Heiser, and I've been watching a few of his lectures, and he's an eminent scholar in his field, and he's shown that there's a huge familiarity between what the Bible presents, especially in Genesis 1 and 3, and also in other passages, and also with ancient Egyptian mythology. And so it's very likely that whoever wrote Genesis 1 and 3, whether it was Moses or whoever it was, definitely did borrow from these stories and then put his own twist on it and then propagated his own beliefs through it.
Impressive. So Megatron, let me fill the question to you. Sorry, am I talking over someone? Sorry, go on, Rich Kid.
No, I was just saying very impressive. But I just want to ask Megatron a quick question. You know where you saw the stories, the professor that you were speaking about? What was he doing?
Have you heard of him, Rich Kid? You must have heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay.
So what was he doing? Was he actually showing you the similarities between Egypt and the Bible?
Yeah, he was showing me. The Bible also talks about, if you read Genesis 1 closely, it talks about God actually battling an ancient serpent. like if you read the actual text itself, and
That's
also from in I think it's Psalm 84. If you go into the original Hebrew and you compare it with the ancient Egyptian language, you see that like the word serpent is the same, and a lot of scholars now, like also Professor Francesca Stavrakopoulou, she's a professor at the University of Exeter, has shown that the stories are almost
yeah,
identical.
I know her. Yeah, go
Right.
on.
So I think you would have to be quite crazy to take Genesis literally. That's why I honestly think every single creationist in the world is retarded. And so yeah,
That's what Gabs was trying to say. You see, when Gabs was
yeah,
asking the question, what did Moses learn in Egypt?
yeah,
That's the background he was coming from.
yeah,
So you see, whoever wrote those stories must have learnt a lot of those stories in
yeah,
Egypt and then put their own spin on it.
definitely. Can I just say, Rich Kid, I've yet to see any evidence that Jesus was based on any ancient Egyptian figure, but
Well, keep going, Megatron. Keep going. I'm sure you'll find something.
no need to be patronizing, but
Not patronizing, brother. I think if you keep carrying on and looking and searching, you'll find some similarities between say Horus and maybe Jesus or something like that. I'm not patronizing.
Yeah, what was you saying, Megatron? Sorry, I missed what you were saying.
Yo, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yo, Callum.
Hello?
Yo, that troll's back in.
What?
Oh dear God, no.
You sound like Michael Jackson beat it.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yo, this guy's not troll, man.
I'm a good. How are you guys?
I'm very well, sir. So, how was your day today? Did you do anything interesting?
Yo, can you guys
It's very warm outside. It's a nice day. A little bit too hot. How about
Brilliant.
you guys?
Well, today the conversation is about.
Yo, this guy's a troll.
So
We're
it's
trying to
about
engage him,
what? It's about engagement. What?
This guy called Kalam a penis before.
What?
Yes, I know. I remember.
He called Kalam a bald penis, but you remember?
But yeah, I
What the
remember.
hell, y'all?
Moving on. So,
Yeah.
what would you like to add to the conversation, sir?
Bro, can I ask Kalam a question?
Oh, what? Yeah, sure. What is your question?
And I want to ask Kalam, not you. You're a troll, bro.
What is your question, Mario? Hello?
And I want to ask,
Mohin, it's okay.
I want to ask
Go ahead,
Kalam.
Mohin.
You sound like Michael Jackson beat it.
Bro, look at your picture, man. You look like a
Yeah,
homosexual.
don't do that. Don't worry about it. Just ask Callum a question.
Yo, I just want to know your opinions of the new Avengers movie, because I know you saw it yesterday.
Actually, I did not watch it.
Spider-Man dies.
I did not watch it.
Spider-Man dies in the new Avengers movie.
Don't stop.
Bro, let me
don't
talk,
tell me.
man.
Don't tell me how it ended, please. I need to watch it myself.
Spider-Man dies, and so does Hulk.
Fuck you, Mario.
Can I talk to Callum, please?
What a fucking
Callum, can you hear
loser.
me?
Yes,
Yo.
buddy.
I just want to know your opinion
Yeah.
on the new Avengers movie, and what you thought about Spider-Man dying at the end.
Yo, big man. You can't do that to people,
Matt,
you
I
know.
can't believe you just. For real?
Now, I'm joking. Spider-Man doesn't die. I'm just messing about.
Okay, well, don't joke, man. This ain't no joke thing, bro.
I have
This
a
is
question.
Avengers we're talking about.
What is your favorite
No, but,
sport?
But
What is your
five people
favorite
do die.
sport
You want me
team?
to let you
What is
know which five?
What
they are?
is your favorite
Nah.
sport team?
This is what we're gonna do, yeah. We'll talk about this off air.
What
This is
your
too
favorite-
much. I can't be doing spoilers like
What is
that.
your favorite sport team?
Okay. But Hulk gets his ass beat by Thanos. That's a 16.
What
You gotta watch that
is
part.
your favorite sport team?
Hmm?
Your favorite sport
Hulk
team?
loses to Thanos.
Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk. He loses
Hulk
to
is
Thanos
not a sport
in
team.
the
You
beginning of the
stupid
movie. They have a
balding
fight, don't they?
loser.
Oh, do you know what it is, yeah? I missed the beginning, you know?
So you didn't watch Hulk fighting Thanos?
No.
Yo,
He gets his
yo,
ass
guys.
beat by
Oh man,
Stop
don't
it. Stop.
listen. You just upset my soul now, you know? Because you know I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, man.
I'm gonna watch it 100 times.
Anyways, we'll talk about it another time. What's
Mr.
good though? Who else is here?
What are we talking about?
Ali Dawa.
Hey, should we go back to that subject we were talking about before?
What is your name, Mr. Yu-Gi-Oh? What's your
Kalam.
name?
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
go ahead, Rich Kid.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Sahab. What's your name?
It wasn't me, Kalam.
Oh, okay.
Rich Kid, you know that heavenly creature that was shown to Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 6 that had 6 wings, 2
That's correct.
covering its head? I mean, that again, very similar to what the ancient, ancient Egyptians believed in one of their creatures that they that was present in their mythologies as well.
Okay, what did they believe? That what? Sorry?
No, just, you know, that picture of that heavenly creature with the 6 wings.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you compare that, I can't remember the exact details, but again, that's not unique to that text. Like, people believe in that prior from other religions.
So you guys,
Yeah, like I said, I
you
think
guys,
the reason a lot of people don't get it is
Israel.
because
You guys are Israelites.
we're not saying that everything was copied and then just manifested into another area. It's just the typologies of the stories. When you look at certain stories, you can see the similarities. If you go into other cultures, you can see the similarities. You go into Islam, you can see the similarities. So
yeah, like for example, if you read Psalm 74, it literally said God destroyed the head of the serpent.
that's correct. Hydra.
Yeah.
Hydra. And if you go into Greek mythology, there's a story, Euripides, where she guards the golden apple by the tree, and the tree is called the snake that's coming down the tree is called Ladon.
Right.
I think it's a word play on the word London, but I won't go into that too much.
And also the Bible, to say that the Bible teaches like monotheism in the Islamic sense from the Islamic point of view is ridiculous, because the Bible never always acknowledges the existence of other gods.
That's correct.
Like, for example, it talks about, you know, Yahweh bringing judgment onto other gods. It was always, is your God better than mine type of competition back then. Like, is your God as great as Yahweh? Is your God, can he do the same things as Yahweh?
That's correct. That's correct. If you read Celsus' work, I applaud anyone to read Celsus' work, and you will see what was going on in the 1st century. Because
can I just say something?
Yeah, sure.
If any Christians are listening to me talk, this does not affect the truthhood of Christianity. This is, if your whole faith is based on what Genesis 1-3 says, and you're taking it in a literal way, then you honestly are an idiot, and you're missing some of the beauty that the Bible and other ancient texts of that time say.
That's correct. Because once you start reading the Bible, like what Kalam was saying earlier, when you start reading the text literally and thinking that everything's literal, like there was a snake, and you're not looking on the myths within the stories or how the story has a deeper meaning, then you're lost.
Yeah, 100%. Since I've found out about this, it's become a hell of a lot interesting.
That's a third eye slowly opening. That serpent that you see Kalam wear on his head sometimes with the hat, that's just opening its eyes, basically. So
it's also a lot more interesting. And honestly, I just think that the creationists, the way they bring such an embarrassment to Christianity. At one point, Christianity used to be at the forefront of science, and literally because of these idiots, they've literally tarnished what Christianity should be. And that's why I think believing in a fundamentalist approach of Genesis is just such an unnecessary view in the 21st century, especially with the fact that Genesis 1-3 is not unique on its own.
Agree.
Richard Dawkins.
Kalam, can I say something?
Is that Gabs there? Can I just big up Gabs? Is Gabs there?
Yo, what's poppin'?
You good?
What's happening? Yeah, I'm good, man. Peace. What's happening, everyone?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Long time.
Yeah, and yeah, man, just chiming in, you know?
What
Megatron's
does GAP stand for?
With regards to all that was everything that was said, yeah, it's quite clear that the Abari Hebrew scriptures speak on henotheism. So obviously they deify one deity. I mean, this ties into what Kalam was saying earlier on. They deify one deity as the Most High in the council of deities that were around. So it doesn't deny that these other deities exist, and these other deities are like the patron deities of all the other different nations. It's just that Yahweh is the highest one out of all the other deities, and that's the worldview of the ancient Israelites. So even when you see this, because the thing about culture is cultures are transferred. For example, USA has a lot of, I mean, they speak English. Why? Because obviously it was an English colony until they got their independence, and now they've become a separate entity, and things of that nature. So our cultures are infused and worldviews are passed on with similar time frames and timelines. So you're going to see those type of things within the Hebrew scriptures. But what they're going to do, they're going to tell you the story from their own particular worldview, and that's what you see there.
Okay.
Hello. Kalam,
Amen.
can I ask you something? Can you, Kalam, you have the King James version, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you read the text for me, maybe? It's on Psalms
Go
83,
ahead.
verse 18. Can you read it maybe for me?
83, 18. Let me share my screen. Ooh, and invalid. Okay, hold on. Okay. Let's see. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the most high over all the earth.
So maybe that's a good thing to consider that was written there. Just think about it, right? You can't talk about this. Talk us about the Most High, so yeah. That's enough.
Hold on, Kalam. Can I get you to read a verse like how you on Psalms?
Mm-hmm.
Can you just
Go
read
ahead.
84:11?
So you said, yeah?
Yeah, 84:11.
For the Lord God is a son.
Bingo.
I can read it if you
Say
want.
what again?
So
For the Lord God is a son and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good things will be withheld from them that walk uprightly.
So is the Lord God a son? S-U-N, son? Because I thought in ancient times the Most High was the son.
Yeah. Took on it, brother.
You got your coat on, Gab?
And you know what? That would make sense because of if we're looking at what the brother said in Psalms, that verse said, he's the most high above all the earth. Now, you would think if this is God, why wouldn't it say above all the earths or all the universe or all the solar systems or all the planets? But obviously, when you're dealing with our system, the system that we're in, the most high in the solar system that we're in is what? What's the most high in our solar system?
The sun.
All right, then. You see what I'm saying? So
Jupiter.
Jupiter is what the Romans called Jove, which is the father. It's another name because Jupiter was the planet that protect the Earth from meteorites. So they see it as the father.
Did you say Jupiter was called Job?
Yeah.
And if you go to the book of Job, what was going on?
No, I said it's the largest planet.
Not Jove, J-O-V, Jove.
Job.
Yeah, J-O-V. That's how they spell it.
Oh, Job. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's another part in Malachi, I think it's 4:2, when it says the Son of Righteousness would rise with healing in its wings, and it's spelled S-U-N.
Yep.
So I don't really know why they keep referring to God and keep spelling it S-U-N. I don't know if it's a mistake.
Let's have a see.
The universe is actually just a matrix.
There you go. Malachi 4:2.
Is it Malachi 4:2? Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's spelled S-U-N, right?
Yeah.
Well, somebody can answer that for me. I'm willing to learn why they use the word S-U-N instead of S-O-N.
And then healing in its wings. And then also, just to carry that, Kalam, if you can go into Google, I think if you go into SanDisk, I think one of the glyphs or the pictures in it you have in Kemet is the sun with the wings.
That's correct.
I think we need Megatron back.
With his shit mic.
Those images. There we go. Is that the sun rising with healing in its wings?
You come up to give trouble, guys.
Hey, Gabs, brother Gabs.
Yo, what's happening?
Do you believe the Most High is real?
Of course.
Well, Most High, the sun. Yeah, the sun is real.
Oh, so the Most High to you is the sun.
That's what the scripture.
The Most High to everyone on the planet Earth. Yeah, the sun. It's real.
Okay, that's your belief. So the answer Kalam's question is not a myth then.
No, that's not even the belief. I'm saying that the sun right now is Most High. Is high, yeah? Very up high. Yeah, and it's above the earth. So it's not really a belief. I know that. So if I'm gonna say something's Most High, to me, I would say the sun.
So Gabs, the sun created the universe.
I wouldn't say the sun created the universe because I don't know.
I hope you wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that.
So who created
the sun is small compared to other stars.
But what I would say is a sun did explode, which did create our solar system. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if we take the domino effect and go back, we know that suns explode and create galaxies and other stars and other planets. So now, if we go back to the very first, or one of the first, or the Big Bang, what would you say exploded? What would you say exploded to create the universe and the other galaxies? Wouldn't it just be a bigger sun?
No, I wouldn't actually say that it was a sun that expanded.
Exploded.
I think suns actually was formed out of the expansion gaps.
But remember, I just told you, when a sun explodes, it creates more suns and more planets and stuff. So
no, that's a blatant lie.
Well, I'm trying to be, I'm not going to disrespect Gabs like that and talk to him that way, but
when a star explodes, it can do two things. It can either create a black hole, or it just creates hydrogen.
Facts.
So suns, so planets and other stars are created how?
Right, hold on. So wait, when a sun goes supernova.
Hydrogen then.
Sorry, hold on. Wait, gentlemen. So this gentleman just corrected Gabs and said, when a sun explodes, it creates a black hole. Is that what you just said?
That's what you just said.
50% of the time.
Yeah, but
so sorry, hold on. So when a sun goes supernova, it creates a black hole. Is that what you're saying?
Not always, but
not always.
Not always.
Oh.
And what else does it create then? Because you said it's hydrogen, right?
Well, it's mainly made out of hydrogen and nitrogen. Like 90% of a sun's chemicals is hydrogen and nitrogen.
So what happens afterwards? So you said it creates a black hole. What's the other thing? What does the other thing create?
It explodes. I think it becomes like a shooting star, doesn't it?
It becomes what?
You're asking or you're telling us?
It becomes a shooting star. No, okay. For example, like Superman.
Oh my.
Okay, I won't go there. Never mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
Never mind.
So brother Abdul.
Yeah, but there's a problem, because if you read Deuteronomy, it tells the Israelites not to worship the sun and the moon. Actually. So,
yeah, you're right, Zulu. But that's what we was getting at, me and Gabs. Then somebody said my name.
Oh yeah, I'm saying when the verse speaks in 84, Psalms 84:11 that Kalam just read out, and it says the Lord God is a sun, S-U-N. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, number one, I would say talk to the people that believe in that. That's number
Well,
one.
what?
Number two, wait a minute. Number two, what I would say personally is that men wrote the Bible. You got to understand that. And a lot of these brothers was under the influence of comedic science. So you go figure.
Well, okay. Well, if you actually look at that verse, the Bible uses a lot of real life things to explain, portray a message. It's called a Hebraic way of thinking. It's a practical way of thinking. They use real life things to portray a message. So, for example, Jesus used parables, he used seeds, soil. So to say that Jesus or God is like the sun, or to use the sun as a verb, is kind of like, what is the characteristics of the sun? It gives life. It's strong. When you get too close to it, it will destroy you. So these characteristics can be found in God, but it doesn't mean that
I think
Amen.
it doesn't
I
mean
heard
that the sun is God.
that was explained on point because when you one thing, and I'm somebody who has looked into philosophy for a while, even before I actually got into the Hebraic way of thinking. And one mistake I realized I was making was I was presupposing the Kemetic worldview onto another culture, and there's undeniably a link. Because obviously they're from the same period, they're right next to each other, and they actually had
Shout out to Saracen.
they actually had a what do you call it, an allegiance, like royal allegiance as well. So there was that, but you can't presuppose another culture onto another culture like that. So it didn't mean that Yahweh was the son, but as the brother had rightly explained, it was just the characteristics, and it's not just the sun that's used. They use different things throughout the scripture.
Yeah, and if you actually read Deuteronomy 4 verse 19, it clearly says, "And beware not to lift your eyes to the heaven and see the sun and the moon and the stars, or the host of heaven, and be drawn away and worship them and serve them, those which the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven." So it's clearly telling the Israelites to be aware of worshipping the sun, the moon, and the stars, like to stay away from it, to keep
Okay,
their
Tien,
eyes
Tien,
on.
can I
Why
just
doesn't
answer your
Gab
question?
versus the Red Beetle?
Can I answer your question, Tien?
Mhm.
The Bible, that the God that you're speaking about, because it always comes back to this. The God that you're speaking about, what's his name?
His name is Yahweh,
It's not Allah.
No,
or,
hold on.
or Yahuwah.
No.
Go.
Hold on. Is his name Allah?
No, that's Arabic. That's the Arabic. We're talking the
Okay, so
Hebrew.
hold on.
But Zulu, don't forget that you got
Can
over 30 million Arabic Christians, and they all call Jesus Allah, and they say God is
What's
Allah,
that got
bro.
to do with the sun, man? What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, but don't say that Allah is a false
Yeah,
name for God.
but regardless, what are you guys talking about? That's not the conversation.
Okay, well, ATM, God said the Son is God. What do you say?
Bullshit.
Can I just ask a question?
Oh my gosh, is anyone gonna address this? Is anyone gonna address the verse that I just?
Hold on.
Okay, listen, gentlemen, just
Hold on.
one at a time, yeah? Everyone mute their mic and one person speak at a time, please.
Yeah,
Because I can't hear anything.
I just address.
Yeah, so as I'm saying, a question was asked, yeah, what the name of the and it wasn't Yahweh. That was a
Saracen.
Someone's got a bad feedback on their mic. I'm not so sure who it is. But...
It's Mohin. Mohin, can you mute your mic, please?
Carry on. Hello? Everybody hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it wasn't Yahweh. Yahweh came from the tradition of the Samaritans. Themselves, they actually called the deity Yahweh, and that was how they phonetically the name. I heard someone say Allah. The way they used to say, I mean, in modern Hebrew they'll say Elohim, but there was no e sounds in ancient Hebrew, which was called Gabari. The actual name was Alayim. Or they would say Alayeno. Like for example, if they were saying our God, that would be pronounced Alayeno. as
Are you,
well.
are you saying that in the Hebrew they use the word Elohim?
But the actual name was Yahweh.
Yeah, that's just the plural. That's just the plural of respect for him, Elohim, because that's a plural.
But it's right?
The majestic plural, but and obviously you got the thoughts pattern of the council of Elohim as well. But the actual name was Yahweh. So for example, how we say Israel today, that's not how it was said back then. It was said Yahoshua. It was a theophoric name. In the same way, Judah wasn't Judah, it was Yahoda. So it had his name within the names of the people and of the nations as well. So for example, Isaiah was Yashayahu and so forth. But I just had to just interject there because I heard someone say something erroneous, and I want everyone to have clarity with regards to that. So
what was erroneous though? Because look, you got to understand this too, bro. A lot of Israelites spoke what? Aramaic. If you look at the Aramaic, how do you say God? Allah, Allah, Allah. So, don't teach falsehood, brother. Just be honest.
Hold on. I'm thinking different ways. I've got facts and evidence to back up everything I've said. So don't come to me about.
Okay, did I just tell a lie about the Aramaic?
Pardon?
Did I just tell a lie about the Aramaic, or did I speak the truth, brother?
You told a lie.
I told a lie.
Yeah.
And listen, everybody that's listening to this video right now, just Google Aramaic. How do you say God? And you'll see it there. Allah, Allah. ALAHELAH. You'll see it there. I don't have to lie to you.
Yeah, but what language did Jesus speak?
I said Aramaic, bro.
He didn't speak.
This is the language that Jesus Christ spoke, according to your Christian scholars.
Okay, gentlemen. Can we
So
go one at a
just
time?
don't teach falsehood. Just be honest.
Relax. Hello, one at a time, man.
We can even go into the scriptures.
I think my man needs a Snickers bar.
I'm not talking about the Hebrew. I'm speaking about Aramaic right now.
Yeah, but I was talking about Hebrew. So why you switching?
Yeah, but why would you go against Allah as if it's a false name for God? It's a proper name in the Arabic language and the Aramaic. So don't teach falsehood. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
I actually agree with you on that. I agree with you.
It's the truth.
Let me talk. Somebody asked the name that of the deity of Yahushua, aka Israel. And I'm telling you what the name was. So in the English Bible, they will have the Lord because they've replaced the name. Yeah, but the name was Yahweh. That's all I said. Now,
okay, brother.
If you're saying that was wrong, it's the burden's on you to prove that what I'm saying is wrong. But I've got archaeological evidence and I've got historical written evidence. That's how the name was pronounced, and that's what they had right there. So,
no, I'm not going against you, Rock. I'm not going against you, Rock. It's all good.
Bro,
it's all good.
Say one thing.
Yeah, so don't come proper, man.
There's no actual proof that Jesus spoke Aramaic. There's no solid proof to confirm that.
But this is what the scholars say. So you're gonna debunk the scholars. Go on.
No. By the way, my friend Monty is watching as well, so just shout out to him.
Sorry. Ya Allah.
We have evidence that up to the 1st century CE, that the Israelites themselves were still speaking their language.
Yeah, but look, Esau or Jesus, he spoke Aramaic, bro.
He spoke Hebrew.
He may have spoken Aramaic, but people didn't just speak one language.
No problem.
But their language wasn't Aramaic. That was the language of their captivity. You understand what I'm saying? But their particular language, which they upheld as their own culture, was Gabari.
Who, Israelites?
Translated in today as Hebrew. But it's not that in Hebrew.
Is it
different pronunciation phonetically?
Is it a Semitic language, yes or no?
What do you mean by Semitic language?
No, hold on. I didn't hear
you don't know what I mean by Semitic language?
No, what was your question?
Yeah, Abdul, you're talking to two people there. People mute their mics when they're not talking, please.
Please, yeah. What was that question again? Sorry about that.
Okay, listen. Aramaic, Arabic, and the Hebrew, all of them are sister languages. They are very, very close. They're very similar, brother. These are Semitic languages. Okay. So don't be so surprised, brother.
Surprised about what?
that Allah is a proper name for God in the Arabic language and the Aramaic. That's all.
Abdul, nobody was saying different. You're the only one that's jumping up and saying that. Nobody questioned
No,
that at all.
I'm adding on to the conversation because a lot of certain individuals like to dismiss the Arabic. Somebody in this chat room tried to disrespect the name of Allah as if it was a false name. So I'm addressing that.
Nobody in this chat room
did. Go back and look at the video.
You go back and look at the video. Nobody did.
Yeah, somebody did. Yes, they did.
No, it was me.
Because Zulu, matter of fact, Zulu said no. Because the brother asked him, is Allah the name for God? He said no.
Who said that?
Zulu.
Zulu was saying to you, why are you bringing that up when the conversation was about something completely different?
Yeah, he said, what does all of this have to do with the sun?
Okay, no. Okay, well, anyway, let's just move the conversation on. Gabs, allow Gabs to speak, if you may, or somebody else.
Yo, to be fair, yeah, I wanted to touch on the brother that was saying that I was lying about the sun and what it does, if it creates other stars and other stuff in the solar system.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah? All right, that's cool. I'll leave him.
But he was actually wrong in what he was saying. He didn't know his, I think
he didn't articulate it correctly. Yeah.
Huh? Nah,
he didn't articulate what he was trying to say correctly, but he did speak. He did speak truth.
Nah, I didn't speak. Hold on.
He did.
Which bit did he speak?
He said, "Look, when suns die, they create black holes."
What else is it?
The other thing he had said something. I'm not even too sure about what he said. The other thing he was saying, he wasn't very clear.
That's the bit that we need to talk. That's the bit I wanted to talk to him about, because we know that when a sun dies, well, especially like our sun is like a red giant. When a red giant explodes, what it creates after that is nebula, a planetary nebula. Yeah, and from that planetary nebula, that's where other stars come from. Because even our sun came from a nebula. Suns come from nebula. If you know what nebula is a cluster of stars. You see what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is what happens. So this is what happens. You have suns. Yeah, some suns when they explode, they turn supernova, and they can create a black hole. And others they form nebulas, which are more stars and more suns. Do you see what I'm saying? So
okay.
Hence why I was saying. So if you were to do that now and go back to the Big Bang, yeah. You could say that's the same thing that happened with the Big Bang. That could have been a bigger sun, a red giant sun that exploded and created a nebula, which created more stars and more suns like we have today. There's billions of stars. Where did all these stars come from? You see what I'm saying? So we just use our logic system. There's so many stars, and there's stars that are older than our sun. Just it's basically like a domino effect, just going all the way back. And if there's billions of stars, that's basically like eternity. Like what they say, God is eternal.
Okay. Now check this out. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, because I was going to say, how far back would you go for when the first sun or star was created? If you was to count all these billions of stars that we have, how long is that going to take you to count all the stars that we have in the universe alone?
Yeah, I'll be dead before I can count them all. No, it goes on and on. Even though it's finite, it goes on. It's so many.
Yeah,
but check this out, Gabs.
Yeah.
The thing is this though. Before any of these suns existed, right? You had the fixed point that existed. Where the hell did that come from? How did that start up?
Okay,
you understand what I'm saying? Before the stars were created and this and that. See, we got to talk about this.
Okay, so that's the thing. So that's a good question, because now let's just say we have so first thing first. Right now we know that stars are created through clusters of nebulas and all this stuff that explode. Some create black holes and some create nebulas where other stars and stuff are created. So now if we keep going back and back and back and back, yeah, we know that there was a Big Bang. We don't know what exploded, but something exploded. We know that suns explode. Is there anything else in the universe that explodes?
Sorry,
planets explode, man. Who knows? Krypton exploded. Come on, man.
Mr. Abdul, if I could just interject.
Yes.
Megatron's trying to get in. If there's anyone that's not talking, can we make some space? Like Mr.
I have
Ve-
something to say.
Vekel,
I have
are you
something
there?
to say.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
What the frick?
Who-
I
I'm
guess
gonna leave,
you
but
know,
I
certain
want.
people waiting to get a chance or something. I don't know.
I
So
want to
Yeah.
say
who
something.
has something to say?
I want to say something.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
right.
Go ahead, my friend. Say something.
Oh, I was gonna read the title about if it's like a myth and or reality. I was just watching a couple of videos. I was just gonna ask you a question like, what is this about? What is this
Sorry.
about?
What is what about?
What
The
you're talking
conversation?
about? I'm listening and you're saying stuff again. Like normally I came here late, so I wanted to catch up what you're all talking about.
Okay, so right about now we're discussing the origins of the universe and everything
Oh,
inside the universe. Yeah.
oh, I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
Okay.
I do science.
Okay. Well, give us your interpretation of how the universe was created or came to be.
Well, I think all the universe is made out of atoms. You know, atoms, like everything's made out of atoms. So I feel like the Big Bang is like created all these atoms and they create every form
So,
of life in existence.
so essentially, you're saying there's a singularity that occurred that created the Big Bang, from which everything that we know today was created.
Can I
Well,
ask about what did you think the Big Bang was? What did you think that
Well,
was?
no, wait. I'm saying that maybe the Big Bang was created by like a mixture of dark energy and dark matter compressing itself. Because
Right.
remember,
Are you saying there was dark energy and dark matter before the universe existed?
people normally use the phrase before light there was darkness in it.
Right. So, okay. All right. Let me try and ask you this: before the universe existed, was there anything else in existence?
Okay, yeah, like I said before, before light there was darkness. So I believe that there was like some kind of form of energy and void that was like, you know, black or just dark, and then it just mixed itself. Because if you notice with scientists, they still can't explain what dark matter and dark energy is. It's still a mystery.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'm
Facts.
saying.
Go
So
ahead.
people still don't get it. So I'm thinking maybe this kind of phenomenon, maybe this kind of from how you say that word? I'm just saying phenomenon. That's the word. Yeah, phenomenon. Right. It's like thing that people just don't know what it is. They don't know how to calculate it. Right. So I'm thinking that dark is kind of like a spiritual kind of energy. That's what created everything. People feel like it's like something that you can't see. It's like unseen science, you know. If that helps,
so you saying that's God?
Conversation.
Bro, you saying that's God?
Oh wait. The way I think, okay, let me see with in the culture I'm in, it's not a religious culture, it's more of a spiritual culture. But the way I don't believe in the God how other people believe in it. I believe it kind of scientifically. If you notice with atom, in Kemetic mythology, he's basically he or she, it's, well, people call it it's, but it's a deity that is the creator of all gods. It's like the gods of gods. The way it's stuff is that it duplicates all its atoms and stuff. Like it basically rearranges. So basically this atom is everywhere. It's omnipotent, it's omnipresent because it's everywhere. It knows everything. It knows
Okay, cool. Let
Can I ask,
so I'm just saying,
can I ask where you get that information from? Like, is that from a certain religious text, or is that from?
No. My parents normally, especially my mom, I'm homeschooled, so I get a teacher and look on YouTube at certain people. Like you talk about like kind of African teachers and stuff, how the stuff work. If that helps with the conversation, I might say something's wrong, so I could need some correction because something's wrong. You know, that's
I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to get an idea of where, I mean, you know, because if you ask a Muslim where creation, you know, how the world started, they'll tell you, you know, Christian would tell you, you know, this person of this religion will tell you that. So I'm just trying to get an idea of.
No. The way people do it, they do it from a belief of religion. I'm doing it from kind of logic. Right. Everything's made out of atoms.
Right. But you it sounds like what you're throwing at us is a bunch of
what
assumptions here. I mean, we haven't seen any real evidence of what you're some of what you're saying. I agree with some of what you're saying, but I'm just wondering what you're
I'm saying logically people say that, oh, there's a God out there, but the way I see God is like on a universal level, because people say God is everywhere, God is all in our hearts, but logically, what if God was actually our hearts? Because since I said with atom represents everything that is made out of, from spiritual to every realm. That's how it works. I know it's confusing because I don't think most of you, or you don't get the teaching that I got, or you just don't get what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying it's kind of facts. That
with respect, sir, we do get where you're going. We're not thick.
Pardon
we
me?
Understand what you're saying. We're not thick.
I know it's hard.
Sorry.
I'm just saying. I know you get what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to make sure if you all understand what I'm trying to. Of
course. I think brother Abdul or Gabs had a question for you. Abdul, Gabs.
Yeah.
Rich kid, yeah. You carry on.
Yeah, sir. I kind of get what the brother's talking about. You mentioned Atum, and it's funny because even Atum, was associated with Ra, and obviously we know Ra is the sun. If I think even Kalam could even touch on that. Yeah, Atum associated with the sun as well, and that's why. And it's still going to go back to my question of, I was going to ask the brother, what did he think the Big Bang was? What was it? What was it? What exploded? What did you think exploded?
Well, obviously light, but the way I said it is like normally it's like explosion, like you mix kind of like chemicals together and it creates explosion. But the difference before the Big Bang, you can't see these ingredients. So when I feel like that, there's something in before the Big Bang, there's something like material, some matter out there that like mixed each other and then caused like this kind of like spark and it exploded and it create that light. So I think it's like a sunlight. That's how. Pardon me?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, no problem.
If I may?
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
So these gases that combine to create the Big Bang in the universe, what were they? Do you know?
Pardon me?
Okay. So these gases that you say combined to create the Big Bang, what were they? Do you know?
Well, like I said, I believe it's dark energy and dark matter because that's like the only logical.
Okay, all right.
Or,
fine,
I mean,
okay.
I think actually, if you think about it,
let me expand on my question because you've given me the answer. I'm gonna expand. So, does this dark matter and dark energy still exist?
Yes.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
Why have we not had another Big Bang, or have we?
We have. You do all the time. What's his brother's name again? That's talking.
Professor Babalaska.
Yeah.
Professor
Babalaska.
Buddha. And this is Buddha. Sorry to cut you, yeah. But this is what I was saying, yeah. When it's funny because when you're dealing, remember the brother said loads of gases and things coming together to create explosion. We know that the sun is formed of many gases after a while.
Yo, someone's got a feedback. I don't know if you, Gabs, but someone's got like a beeping. But go on.
Yeah, so it creates. We know that the stars, they create an explosion, and this is why I asked the brother, what else? What other than the stars, what else explodes in the galaxy or the universe?
Okay, so as I understand it, and I'm not an astrophysicist or anything close, but as I understand it, stars are suns. So every star you see in the universe is a sun. Now, the sun is comprised of burning hydrogen, which is created through some form of fusion, as I understand it.
Carbon.
Is carbon a fuel? Is carbon a fuel? Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. So the point I was going to make is this: a star will burn out like this. It goes into it goes into red. So it goes to a red dwarf, and then to a white dwarf, and then to a supernova, an explosion. But
I thought it was like this. I thought it turned into. Wait, hold on. I'm coming quick. I thought it was like a super giant. Like it turns to the red dwarf, then it like to like a red sun, then turns into like some super giant.
Yes, so as it gets ready to explode, it grows in size. You're correct. It expands.
Excuse me. I want also to say that the way there's different kind of stars, and when these different kind of stars die, they have different ways of after they explode, but it's not explosion. Sometimes some stars actually actually don't. Well, they just like they disintegrate, not like exploding, but they literally just evaporate.
No,
Like,
dependent
but
on
then
if
do you know
it's a
what is it
binary.
called? Do you
No,
know white
sir,
dwarf? Do you know
sir,
what a white
professor,
dwarf is?
You mean they burn out?
Oh yeah,
professor,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
professor. A white
Yes,
a binary star. You'll
binary
find that
star.
right. So the binary star is two stars. Yeah, so it's side by side. Yeah, and they orbit each
hmm
other. Okay, so
hmm
you'll find as one's dying, it will leech off energy from the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all theoretical. The physicists haven't actually observed this yet. All right, cool.
Okay.
But the point I'm trying to make is, for the creation of the Big Bang, the explosion is quadrillions of time higher than the explosion of a white dwarf. Yeah, it's before than a supernova. A sun cannot be compared to the creation of
Big
the
Bang.
universe. It's
No,
nowhere near.
hold
I
on.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Buddha,
Yes.
are all suns the same size?
No.
Okay, so with a sun that's, I don't know, let's say 1,000, 10 times, a sun that's 10 times bigger than our sun, would that have a bigger explosion?
Yes.
Okay, and with a sun that's 100 times 1,000 than that, have a big explosion?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we not know that whatever this Big Bang was, how do we not know that this was a gigantic sun? Because we know that there's suns in our universe
Yeah.
that are bigger, way bigger than our sun. Our sun's like a baby. You know what I mean? Like a grain of, you know what I mean? So what?
Okay.
Excuse me. Let me cut.
Hold on, Professor.
Yes,
He's
yes,
asking
yeah,
a question.
okay.
Hold on a second. But my question I wanted to ask, which still hasn't been answered yet, is can someone tell me, other than the stars, what else explodes in the universe?
Depends on what your definition of explosion is. But let me just ask you a
Bang,
question about the
explosion,
star.
anything like that. So how the sun, like I said, the sun
So
explodes.
if you had a meteorite impacting like on the moon, you see the craters on the moon. That can be classed as an explosion because the impact was quite.
No, so not like a meteor, because a meteor is obviously.
No, he's talking about self-explosion, like from the inside.
So I'm talking about something that actually fills
inside,
up with
like
and
inside that explodes.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
No, but
I'm
no,
not
what are you trying to say? Wait, hold on. Let me just before I forget. Are you basically saying is that our universe is basically one big nebula? Then is that what you're saying? Then, because that's what I'm just seeing. Because
if
the sun is, because remember you said not all stars are, or not all suns are the same size. So remember, like are you saying like before the Big Bang is like some star? So before the Big Bang was a star, they exploded in something like that. What are you trying to say?
No. Right, look, Gabs, what you're saying is there must have been a really massive star. Okay. Now, my point is this: if there was a really massive star, we should see a comparison size star somewhere in the observable universe. We don't. We don't see stars anywhere near the size that you're proposing. For a star to be that violent of an explosion to create a universe, we should be seeing that like we see the moon.
Okay, let me ask
to
you
be
a
that
question.
size. You
Let
get
me
me?
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What created our solar system?
The universe.
No, our solar system. So our solar system, the planets. So the planets that we have, what created the planets? You know, what?
Okay, so from the universe, I'll break it down. So from the universe, you had nebulae, right? So each part of the universe has different types of nebulae. Yeah.
What's a nebula?
A nebulae is forms of gases.
Where do those things come
Do you
from?
know? Excuse me. Do you know what I just noticed? You never mentioned this conversation. You never mentioned that one word. Do you know what it is?
Which word would you like us to mention, sir?
Gravity. Do you notice everything we're talking about, like the form of the universe, all the principles and powers of gravity? Gravity is always involved when it comes to the form of the universe.
To be fair, I was actually going to say exactly that, but you managed to cut me in. So maybe I can finish. No problem. So
apologize.
So as I said, the universe, as I understand it, and I'm going back a few years now, to my astrology classes, but the universe was created. During that creation, there was gases, dust, all those kinds of things. Suns were created. Yeah. As the sun has a gravitational pull, it pulls the dust, and over billions of years, the dust combines and compacts and forms planets. That's how I understand it. And
Okay,
then those
Who's the one that created all that stuff, Buddha?
Can I ask a question? Can you?
That's not the question.
Is Kalam there?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, where did
That's
all
the question. That's the $1 million question. Who created all this stuff?
Where did it all come from?
And ask. I wanted to do a screen share and look up. Kalam's there. Look up what a planetary nebula is.
A planetary nebula.
You guys are talking about things that exist, but we're I guess I don't know about everyone else, but myself.
Well, if you'd like to ask me the question, I'm not psychic, unfortunately. So if you'd like to,
we just want to know.
I asked you like 3 times in a row.
These things come from, like, did they just appear out of nowhere, or did they always exist? Or?
Let them answer. Yeah, let them answer.
Okay, so you didn't ask me, Mr. Abdul.
Brother, who created the universe, brother?
Would you? Okay, I'm going to try and answer that for you. I don't know who created the universe. Okay, and because I don't know, this is why I don't follow a certain religion that tells me, because most religions, in my humblest of opinions, are inflicted by man or corrupted by man. So no one religion can tell me who created the universe. And this is the point I was trying to make to Professor. Prior to the universe existing, there was no gas. There was, in my understanding, there was no gas. There was nothing, because there was nothing. Now,
how do you know there was nothing?
How do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know there was
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah, nothing.
Because what is your definition of the universe?
Wait. But you made an assertion.
No, you make right. You're making the claim that there's nothing outside of the universe. How do you know that? How do you know?
Okay,
how do you know?
If you held a religious position, okay, I can understand. I might not agree with you, but I would.
He don't have no religious position. Exactly.
Right. Wait. Let me just finish my statement.
There's a reason why you're shouting at me.
I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm just trying to. I mean, you're making an assert. If you asked a Christian or a Muslim, they would tell you what they believe. Okay, but you are making an assertion, and
exactly
you're speaking as if it's the fact. So I just want
to know. And it's not.
Well, clearly, my English maybe not.
I'm not saying
maybe
that
my English is not as good as yours.
Listen. All the learning.
I'm not saying that it's not fact.
That's a very good point.
I just want to hear what he has to say first before I criticize it.
If you talk over me, you won't hear what I've got to say.
Yeah, I know, but it's too many people saying stuff over what I'm trying to say.
I'm saying, wait, hold on. I'm just saying, all of from like the teachings and what I've been learning, all I know that there's always something out there. There's like never nothing. There always had to be something there, because you can't create something from nothing, because you won't have the
but not everybody holds that position.
So what is your definition of the universe? I think that's very important to ask.
Who you asking, me or him?
I'm asking Mr. Abdul, I'm asking Mr. Professor, and I forget your name, sir. The gentleman from America. Vikel, is it?
So just call me Vikel. Yeah.
Vikel.
Okay. The universe is the box that we live in.
The box that we live in. Okay.
Yeah. Do you understand that, or do I got to get scientific and technical, or what are you?
Well, clearly you're not. Okay, whatever.
I'm simplifying it. Yeah, I'm just simplifying it, because there's no reason to try to be intellectual and use big words.
There's no reason to be intellectual. Is that what you just said?
No.
What you're saying is,
wait a minute, brother. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm just saying, there's no need to use a bunch of hard words, fancy words, talking slick, trying to sound intellectual. Right. It's simple, brother. The universe is the
talk. This is the way I talk. I can't help the way I talk.
No, that's just me. I don't care. You could go quote the dictionary. It's okay, brother. I'm just saying, for me. Do you understand my answer? Did you understand my answer?
I'm not particularly interested in your answer, because you're not being very.
But you asked me a question. You mentioned my name. You said, I want to see what Brother Abdul knows. Or you mentioned some other.
You did ask him a question. Yeah.
Thank you. You did.
I asked you a question, and that's your response, and I've accepted your response.
Do you understand it? Do you understand it?
Not particularly, no. But
okay, let me explain further, so you can have clarity. No.
Okay, I'll let Professor.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Go ahead, Professor.
Excuse me. Do you know? Let me ask you this question. Why is there no animal as big as the dinosaurs?
Okay, can I ask you? Can we stay on track with the universe?
No. I'm being serious. Why is there no animal as big as the dinosaurs? Because remember,
you made an assertion, and we're kind of challenging.
Yeah, so let's go there, Mr. Professor. Would you like to give me an answer as to what is the universe?
Imagine with the Big Bang. Yeah, the Big Bang was huge. It was massive. Why didn't we have no other explosions since
Right.
now.
Okay, I'm getting lost there. Okay, Mr. Veckel, would you like to answer? What is your definition of the universe?
Well, I'm not really eloquent with my own words.
Time, space, and matter, bro.
I'm going to give you the definition that I see in the.
Eloquent.
I mean, we can get into it, Buddha. You ain't gotta get like that, bro. I can talk to you, man.
I'll
Listen. The universe is time, space, and matter, brother.
Yeah, I'll just give you a very basic
right,
understanding
it's
straight from the dictionary. It says the totality of.
No, I'm saying why haven't.
Wait. He's asking me a question. Hold on. So I just want to give him a very basic understanding of what I see based on the dictionary. It says a totality of known or supposed objects and phenomena throughout space, the cosmos, microcosm.
No problem. That's understandable. That's understandable. It's simple. Now, what's your point, Buddha? Go on, brother.
Yeah, you asked us the question for a reason. So
yeah, Buddha, go on. Make your point. The brother's on mute.
Who?
Maybe he got some people in the background, his wife or something talking to him. He'll come back.
Who?
Yeah, Buddha, he's on mute. Somebody's probably talking to him or something. You know what I mean? He's busy. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so I'm going to try and give you an answer, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't interrupt. Would that be possible? Or
yes, go on.
Okay, so in my understanding of the universe, okay, it is the container that contains everything. So all physics, all mathematics, all planets, all gases, everything we know is contained within a universe. So when we look out into the universe, we see space. Within that space, we see stars, nebulae, all of those kinds of things. Yeah, that is what I call the universe. Okay. Now, I'm saying to you, before that universe existed,
right?
What existed?
Ah, that's the question.
That's the question. That's the question. Yeah,
we're asking,
thank you.
So you answer it first, Buddha. You started. You start with the answer.
We're asking you because you said there was.
This is where it's getting confusion here.
Right. You made an erroneous statement based on no knowledge.
I made an erroneous statement based on no knowledge.
Right. You said there's nothing outside of the universe, basically.
No, I didn't say that, sir.
You asserted that.
Maybe let me try again. Let me try again.
Okay. Carry on.
My question to you is this: before the universe existed,
right?
Was there anything else? My question wasn't to you. It wasn't to Jekyll. It was to Professor. Yeah?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Go on.
Not Jekyll. Sorry, Veckel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Right. My question was to Professor because Professor was having a conversation with me. You jumped in, so I would suggest maybe listen and not jump in. So.
Nah, you mentioned my name. You switching it up. No problem, brother.
Okay, I'm switching it up. Right, so back to Mr. Professor. If I could maybe clarify.
I'm here.
You said the universe was created through dark matter and dark energy. Okay. Now, my question to you is, prior to the universe coming into existence, what existed?
No, but I got a question to ask you though.
I'd like to hear your answer to the question, though, if you don't mind.
Who?
I'd like to hear your answer to Buddha's question.
Well, his question is really confusing. He was really all over the place with that.
All right. Okay, I'm all over the place. Well, look. Okay, let me try and give my answer to my own question, if I may. Right.
No problem.
So there must have been an initiation or something that started the creation of the universe.
Right.
Now, religiously, because we can only go to religion to get those answers because we do not know. I don't know. Okay. So the only answers we can get is from religion. So religion would say a God created the universe by sound or via speech or via thought, whichever it was. Okay. So that means that a God must exist outside of the universe and must exist outside of time.
Right.
Okay. So a God or some gods created the universe, and with the universe in creation, everything we know and think and feel is inside that universe. Okay, does that answer the question for you, Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Abdul?
Nah, because you're talking about what religious people believe and stuff. We want to know what you believe. What's your understanding?
Exactly.
Okay.
What do you
think? I did answer that. I think I did answer that.
Well, you said you don't know. Is that it? That's the end of it?
That's my answer. Yes, my answer is I don't know.
Okay, here's another question. Hold up, Buddha. Here's another question, my brother. How do you quantify the universe coming into existence? How do you quantify that?
I've just explained that, sir.
How? If nothing existed, meaning the universe itself, how the hell did it come into existence? You explained that?
Did I not explain that? Sorry, did anyone?
No. Can I say something before I forget to say this?
No, I didn't hear it.
Abdul, let me try again. Please allow me. Let me try again.
Please don't mention no religious people and God and none of that stuff. Tell me what you believe. Right? What you believe?
What I believe. I just told you. I don't know.
Okay, so how did the universe come into existence? How did it happen?
Listen. See, you're not taking it seriously. What I'm saying, I'm taking it seriously.
He can only. You telling me that's your explanation? I don't know.
No. Listen. I'm being serious. What I'm saying. I asked you a question before. Why weren't there no any species today that are not bigger than the dinosaurs? Everything is evolving. Why are there
Wait a minute, one thing at a time. Hold on a second. We're talking about how the universe. Yeah,
you going off topic with the dinosaurs, brother.
You talking about stuff that came out after.
Listen.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Hold on with that. Hold on.
I'm not skipping the subject. I'm just comparing. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We'll get to that.
I don't think you are.
I'm just saying, like, if you logically think about it, the big.
Be patient, Mr. Professor. We'll get to that. Okay. All right. So
no. I'm being serious. You have to listen to this. I'm not joking. You have to listen to this. I'm being serious right now. I'm just saying the Big Bang was like the biggest explosion happened in history. Okay. Well, that's what scientists believe. Why there wasn't like explosion that big before? Why is it not happening now? If it's a coin, do you see something like devolved on scale?
You're talking about. We're not really on that subject yet.
For real.
We're trying to we're trying to go to the very, very beginning. What caused
that's it. The Big Bang. The Big Bang's like the big explosion.
Okay, so wait, so that's your belief?
I haven't spoken for a while. Can I just say something? I think this conversation is a good conversation. I would just like to encourage everybody to really hear each other out and don't come off subject. If you have something, write it down, and then when it's time to go onto that subject, then you can bring it up. But I think everybody wants a conclusion to this. So let everybody who's involved in this, get to that conclusion. And what I want to say, I'm going to let you lot carry on, and I'm going to chime in a bit. But what I'm going to say is, not from a religious point of view, but from a cultural point of view, I can then explain how the ancient Hebrews saw it from their scriptures and things of that nature. Because everything that everyone's spoken about is actually within it, if you understand the language and things of that nature. But yeah, carry on, and I'll chime back in.
Yeah,
I don't know I don't know how you'll become so triggered about dinosaurs. I wasn't even talking about dinosaurs. This news as an example, man.
Mr. Professor.
Hold on to it, though, brother.
Can I just?
No, because I might forget it. Because I'm just saying, like, no, I'm being serious. How is it?
We won't forget. We will remind you. Okay, that's fair. We will remind you. All right.
Because I might forget it, but
no, you won't forget because
but the danger of you bringing that up is that it could go off on a tangent, and then we won't.
Okay, let me just bring what I'm saying.
Okay, let me hear what Buddha got to say then.
All right, so let me bring what I say to a conclusion. Right. So I said that Mr. Abdul and Mr. Oh my God, I can never remember your name. Echo. Said that they wanted to understand my response. My response is, I don't know. Rather than go to a religion and find out what a religion has to say and tell me what. God. Are you gonna let me finish, or shall I mute your mic?
Why are you mentioning religion? This just turning me off. I'm sorry about that. Go on.
I'm sorry, it's turning you off. I don't wish to turn you on. I'm giving you what I believe. Do you understand?
No homo, man. Come on now.
All right, so I'm giving you what I believe. So because I don't know, I'd rather not know until I do know. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So
well, you know what? I accept that, the fact that you don't know. You're not making it, but the only thing is the reason why we asked you the question in the first place is because you made an assertion that there was nothing in the beginning, but now you don't know. So
exactly.
If you honestly don't know, then we can leave it.
If you don't know, you don't know. Stick to that. Don't make claims.
Hold on. I'm not making a claim.
Like me, for example, I would make a claim, if I'm ready to make a claim, I should be ready to back it up.
Okay, but sir,
absolutely.
Well, I'm not making a claim. This is what I've been taught.
Well, you did earlier.
Okay?
Yeah, you did earlier.
No, it's not a claim. It's what
It's on video, brother. Buddha, people gonna see it and type in that chat room and in the comments, man.
Well, when you make, well, let me just a word.
They gonna put the time mark on it for you, Buddha. Watch. They gonna put the time marker.
Just a word of advice for everyone else here. I'm not trying to be, like I'm your pastor or anything like that. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm saying just to cause less confusion, if you're going to make an assertion and you are able and ready to back it up, then then it's okay to say this and this happened. But if you're not certain, then I think it probably would be more honest if you were to say things like I think or I believe. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, sir. I'm just reiterating what I learned. Okay, this is what I've been taught. So I didn't make a claim. It's what I've been taught.
Okay, well I'm just saying next time. Well, that's why you. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, the
universe coming into existence, there was nothing. That's not me making a claim. That's what's written in the book.
How do you know that though? How do you know that?
That's a claim.
That's a claim right there.
Okay, this is what's inside. Okay, so when the physicists write the books and
how do you know there was nothing before they existed?
Hold on, wait.
Exactly.
Listen, right? When they're saying in the textbooks and then they teach you in this at school, is that a claim? Is that what's being taught?
Wait. Now you're going to the textbooks?
Well, that's what okay,
I see the point you're making. I get what you're saying. You're regurgitating what you was told and taught. Exactly. That's what you're telling us.
Yes. There you go.
Do you believe what you was told and taught? Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
You know what I'm gonna do? This conversation is getting so tiring at the moment. You sound like
Buddha don't want to answer that question. He don't want to answer that question.
I think we're asking legitimate questions.
What's the legitimate question?
Yes, we are.
The legitimate question is that you made an assertion, which is asking you, how do you know about these things? You said you don't know. That now you're going back to the textbooks. So now wait a minute. How does the people who put those textbooks together know about that?
Exactly. Do you believe it?
I don't know if I'm speaking a different dialect or whether you're.
No, you're not.
Do you believe what you was taught in those textbooks?
This is getting confusing.
No, it's
not
confusing.
a simple question, Buddha. Do you believe it or not?
Okay.
Do you believe the words that just came out of your mouth, Buddha?
Do I? What you tell me? What did I say that you're asking me?
You said that first. You said you didn't say anything about textbooks at first. You first said that before the universe there was nothing. And that's what that's what caused us to ask you, how do you know that? And now after grilling you a little bit more, you now say that, well, this is what the textbooks say. Well, wait a minute. Well, okay,
no,
that's
but then
what the textbooks say.
How do you know there was nothing?
How do those people who put the textbooks know that? I mean, is that something they believe, or is that something they could scientifically affirm?
When it's in a textbook and it's been taught in school, I believe they probably.
I know it's been taught in school, but how do you know that?
So you do know it's been taught in school.
Yeah. How does that relate to you? Do you believe it's
taught in school? What matters?
Buddha, do you believe it though?
Hold up.
What matters is if it's factual.
Hold up. I just want to say this, again. I want because all it's sounding like is just a lot of noise, and I know everybody in the chat is just thinking, what's going on? No, so listen. Just because something's in a textbook taught in schools does not mean that it's correct. And what the brothers are trying to get out of you is what you have, the information you've taken. It's not just about taking on what you've been taught. It's about your thinking process and how you have processed things and what you are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Let me just finish this. So if we can get this to that level right there, to a level where everyone's thinking and has processed what they're thinking, not just taking on what people have told them, but actually, processing everything and bringing some knowledge.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? All right. Okay. So what I was taught in school and in other parts of my life and everything I've learned, I hold to be true. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
So now you tell me.
Ask your question. Stop. I'm gonna ask you a question just so you can carry on.
Okay.
Why do you believe what you've been taught?
Because there's science behind.
Great question.
Okay. What science and what evidence lead you to say this is actually true? Because they taught me this, and I can see due to this formula, it's right. And I think that's what everyone's trying to out.
Okay.
Right now.
As I said in the beginning, I'm not a natural physicist, so I can't give you specific formulae.
So therefore, I'm not being disrespectful. So therefore, what they're saying is true. Then you're making claims that you can't back up.
Right.
Okay. So all right. Okay. Let's They are making claims that I can't back up. So what should I believe then? Let's ask that question.
It's not about me telling you what you should believe.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Mr. Abdul and I'm asking Mr. Jacob.
Wait,
so what should I believe?
What he's saying is absolutely correct. We're not trying to tell you what to believe. We're just trying to ask you why you believe what you believe.
Okay, so
you're making assertions throughout this thing, breaking everything down, and then it's not something that you can actually explain to the fullest extent.
It makes us confused.
We're not telling you that you're wrong.
We're not saying to put into context.
We're not saying that you're wrong. We're just trying to ask you why you believe what you believe. I mean, I would do the same thing
I was taught. I've said it several
times. To a Christian, to an atheist, to anybody.
No, sir. With the greatest of respect, I've said it several times. This is what I taught. This is what I know to be true.
Okay, but that's fine. No.
If you've got a different, if you believe different,
the thing is, though, Professor. Sorry, Professor. What you're doing, though, Professor. Let me just say one last thing. One last thing. What you're doing, Professor, though, is
my name's not Professor. My name's Buddha.
The only error that I see you making, Professor, and this is not even that big of a deal. Is
Hello,
that
sir.
You seem
my
to be
name's
going,
Buddha, by the way.
You seem to be going. Oh, Buddha. Sorry. It seemed to be. What you seem to be doing is we don't have a problem. We're not criticizing what you believe. We're just criticizing your abilities. You keep making. At one point, you're making an assertion that there was nothing in the universe, and then when we ask you how do you know that, you then say it's the textbooks, or you first say you don't know. But then you go back to the textbooks.
Misunderstood.
And you go back and forth between telling us that you know that there was no universe.
Mr. Jekyll, either I didn't explain I didn't explain it properly, or you misunderstood.
No. We understood just fine. It's just that
you didn't, because you're clearly not saying what I said. I said to you
this. I said that on one hand, and then you're going back and saying, "Well, this is what the text says."
What triggered the universe to be created is I don't know. That's what I said. What you understood and what I said is two different things.
Leave it at that. You can tell us.
Leave it at that, because you're telling me what I said, what I didn't say. Yes,
no, we're not telling anything. You're telling us that you don't know, which we agree, which we find to be fine.
The event of the universe.
So you gotta let me finish, Buddha. You gotta.
If not gonna let you finish, you're gonna talk.
Come on, y'all need some order. We need order. Come on, brothers.
All right.
I'm not trying to.
So all you gentlemen have asked me questions. Now it's time for me to ask you a question. Can I ask you guys a question?
Buddha, let me finish, man.
All right. Hello.
Can I say something?
You're making an assertion.
Right? You
first said that you don't know, but then you turn around a few minutes later and say that, well, this is what the textbooks say, and we say, okay, that's fine, that's what the textbooks say, and then the next question was asked of you was, why do you believe it?
Okay, bro. So now, right. So now you asked me plenty of questions, and I've responded the best way I can. Can I?
We asked you the same question plenty of times.
Right. Can I ask you a question?
You are going around in circles, and it's not good. I can just imagine what everyone. So can we just stop that,
Mr.
I don't think we're getting very far.
Mr. Yuba, can I ask a question? Is that okay?
No. Let me just say something. Yeah, we've been hearing your voice a lot.
After you, I'll ask a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say something. Yeah. I just want to say something on the subject. I want to interject something. Personally, if we're talking about what I assert to, there has to be something that was there to trigger off whatever they want to call it, the Big Bang or whatever this creation process is. And even in school, they tell you that there were microorganisms that were there already, and these microorganisms started doing whatever they did. I can't remember the actual process, but
that's what I've been talking about. Wait, hold on. That's what I've been talking about.
They started the process.
There was microorganisms. So I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. So there was microorganisms before the event of the universe. Is that what you're saying?
Before the event of the so-called Big Bang, that's what created the Big Bang. There was something that created it. It wasn't created out of nothing.
Microorganisms
that's
created
what
the Big
I've been
Bang.
talking about.
Yeah.
It sounds like a science fiction movie, man.
But
exactly. No.
Microorganisms created the Big Bang in the universe, and come on, man.
I attest to that.
No, you turn this conversation upside down on its head, man.
I'm saying to you, I
You're
don't
not
attest
getting
to
it, don't you?
I'm trying to give clarity on the point that you was trying to make and just correct you in terms of what they taught us at school. I don't really attest to that myself.
They teach in school. This is what they teach in school. They teach in school that microorganisms created the universe.
Personally,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's what you're saying. There. You've interrupted everyone's talk to task that. That's what you're saying? All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but if that's what they, but see, that still doesn't answer the question. If those microorganisms,
yeah, where did they come from?
Where did they come from?
Can I say something?
Let Professor say something because he's been itching. Go ahead, Professor.
No. You're just ruining everything I'm saying. You're turning it upside down on its head, man. Like I said, with us now, as the universal scale, I feel like everything with evolving, we all kind of de-evolved because, like I said, everything back then, everything was bigger, right? Right?
Are you talking about the origin of the universe?
No, you talking about what are you talking about? Animals on Earth or something? Come on,
no, that already
bigger.
We're talking
everything
about
was bigger. What do you mean, brother?
Get here.
Right, that's another good question.
This is the reason why I like reasoning with my friends. No, that's the reason why I like reasoning with my friends. It's like adults don't get what I'm saying.
Explain yourself.
Well, I think we get what you're saying, but it sounds like what you're talking about are things. It's not the origin of the universe. We're talking.
It's not the core issues that we're dealing with, brother.
Right. We're trying to start from.
Can I ask?
Okay. If possible? No. I'm not finished.
But please finish as quick as you can.
Listen, because if you're taking this as a joke, I'm getting really frustrated, and I can't take an example of it again because you're making me sound silly, and I'm not silly. I'm a really intelligent person, and I'm saying it from my own viewpoint. I'm just talking about comparing everything. Everything has a body. Everything has a soul. Okay, the sun is born. The sun can die. Humans born, we can die. Everything can die. All right.
Yes.
Everything is born. That's what I'm saying. So, if you just give me a chance to explain what I'm talking about, it's confusing at first, but if you let me explain it, it will be more reasonable. I'm just saying, with the Big Bang, why is there nothing as big as an event like that before? Something must have de-evolved through time, because like people say, you can't build something as good as the original.
What's your point, though? What's your point?
I'm trying to say, I'm just saying to say, no, listen.
Are you saying that these things eternally existed, that they always existed?
Before I let anyone speak, yeah, I'm just saying that before everything, yeah, everything was bigger. Don't you see it? The Big Bang. Why do we not have another Big Bang than before? Why do we not have another Big Bang?
Okay, tell us. Professor, are you suggesting that these things pre-existed, like they always existed, that they were not?
I'm just saying, why do we not have another event like the Big Bang? Why is there not many of those stuff before? It's like it's a one-time event.
So what's your point?
Okay, yeah, what's the point?
What's your point?
What I'm point is that you can't have something again because, like I said, it scales down over time. It decreases like in volume. Like I said.
And what's your point? What are you saying?
I'm proving the point. Bro, you're not listening. You're not listening. I'm literally proving the point.
How did the thing get there, though?
I'm not answering that. I'm answering question like how.
Of course, you're not answering that.
I'm asking like how did everything like that happen?
You're on a different part of the. You're on a different facet of the conversation.
No, I'm talking about the same thing. I'm just saying something. That's why it's. Oh my God.
You're not answering my question.
This is.
Okay,
I'm trying
this is not good. I think
you're doing it again, Professor.
Take it to a different level.
Hello.
Oh my days.
Hello.
Oh my days. My heart is too hard.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because everyone's talking. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, we want
know. Since we don't know what started the universe, tell us what started the universe. Was it God?
Who are you asking, though?
Anyone?
Yes. That's the question I've been trying to ask for the past 15 minutes. Please, can Abdul answer that question? Could Abdul answer the question?
No.
Why are you going to ask religious people?
Then Jekyll, and then
Buddha.
No,
Professor.
answer my question.
Buddha.
Answer my question. Answer my question. Like, why wasn't there another Big Bang? Because someone mentioned and decided about how.
Professor,
we don't know where you're going. That's why I asked you, what's your point, brother?
Exactly.
Professor.
Okay, what I'm trying to say. Okay, fine. Let me make it simple.
Let me answer the question.
Okay.
Who told you that there was a Big Bang?
Thank you.
This who?
Who told you that there was a Big Bang? Who was around to hear that?
Nobody witnessed the Big Bang. Nobody witnessed that.
Okay, so
I want to hear Buddha's response, Professor's response. Where'd you get this?
No one wasn't there on the time.
So
Okay,
how did you know that there was a Big Bang? Who told you that?
Well, normally our teachers.
You see, we go back to the same thing. It's literature.
And you believe what the teachers told you, right? You just believe it, right?
Brother, sorry, what's this?
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Okay, do you know what, rich kid?
No, we all don't do that.
It's not a criticism.
Hold on. Why can't we just...
Hello. Can rich kid, anyone on this panel, give me an alternate event of how the Big Bang occurred, please?
Okay,
Please,
well, let me just say, first, I'm not criticizing anybody's beliefs here. I'm just trying to, when somebody makes an assertion, I like to hear them back it up. That's all. I'm not, and we can talk about whether or not it's accurate.
Beautiful. That's wicked. I love that. That's really good. But can somebody please give me an alternate account of how the Big Bang happened, please?
Well, we have.
But that would be for those people who believe in the Big Bang. That's what I'm trying to say. Who believes in the Big Bang can answer that, and then we can go.
Okay, let me augment my question. Let me augment my question. Can somebody please, for the love of God, or anything that you hold dear to you, give me an explanation as how the universe came into creation, please? Anyone?
You said you don't know.
No, he's asked.
He's asking us. He's asking anybody.
He's asking anybody. Yeah.
Buddha, me personally, bro.
Nobody knows. Let me. No one was there.
So Gabs is still here. So
go ahead.
Who's religious here?
Well,
what you say?
Who is religious here? Is anyone here a Muslim or a Christian?
Yes. I'm a Muslim.
So to you,
I'm not religious.
Allah brought religious. To you, Allah brought the creation into being, correct?
Of course.
Okay. So, and to a Christian, that would be Jehovah.
Well, I don't like
Yahweh or whatever. Yeah.
Right, so
Abdul,
prove to me. Hold on, rich kid. Hold on. Yo, right. Abdul, prove to me that Allah brought the universe into creation.
What would you accept as proof?
Who taught you that? Where did you get that information from?
Yeah, where you get that information? Do you believe what your teachers told you as well?
I believe the Quran.
Why do you believe the Quran?
Why do you believe that as well?
Hey man, it's right and exact, bro.
What?
Listen,
you believe what you read? Huh?
I believe the Quran.
Let's just have one at a time. Let's just have one at a time. If you're gonna answer a question, just align to with big people in the panel.
I'll answer every single question. Go on.
Enlighten me.
Enlighten you on what? What's your question?
What makes you believe that Allah brought the universe into creation?
Because I believe the words of the Quran, and the Quran explicitly says that Allah is the creator. Allah brought the universe into existence.
Why do you believe in the Quran?
Hold on. Come on.
I
can tell you.
Badgering questions. So
I can. No, it's okay.
Hold on.
Go on.
Yeah. So your literature, which taught you about the Quran, have there been any other? What's what I want to say? What's the word I'm looking for? Any other cultures that had a different name for their God and who has the same story as you?
You got a lot of similarities in other religions and different doctrines, sure.
So what makes yours right from theirs?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know. The Quran that I have today in my hand is the same Quran that the Prophet Muhammad spoke out of his mouth, peace be upon him.
Rich kid, you know you're out of order, you know that.
Why? What did I do?
Your teeth, my father, big time. You know how long I've been waiting to ask these questions?
Sorry, but I say
No, go on.
No, go on.
Your teeth, my father already, man. Teeth, my father already. But no, do your thing. I'm gonna go make.
Go on.
Can I just
interject? And just from my personal study of the Quran itself, the way that the text is written, how the words are formed, the information that's in the Quran. Just things that human beings wouldn't even have known over 1,400 years ago. Things of that nature. It convinces me that it's true. Yes.
How do you know it's true?
How do I know what's true?
How do you prove it's true? Prove the Quran is true.
I'll ask you again. Wait a minute. I'll ask you again. What would you accept as proof? This is my second time asking you.
Have you seen Allah in person?
No.
That's not important. Right. Prove to me that Allah wrote the Bible.
The Quran.
I never said that Allah wrote the Bible.
I beg your pardon. The Quran.
Yeah, well, the Quran testifies to that itself. When you read the Quran, it literally says that Allah is the author.
Okay. Could
And
you
if
prove to
anybody
me-
doubted, this is a challenge in the Quran that's been going on for over 1,400 years. Nobody met the challenge.
So you're saying that
Allah says, write something better and prove that it's wrong. Allah says, bring your proofs and evidence and show that the Quran is false.
So you're saying that Allah is corporeal.
Who?
You're saying Allah.
He doesn't understand those big words.
No.
That Allah is
I didn't even hear what you said.
You're saying that Allah is physical, because to write you have to be physical, correct?
Well, I never said that Allah sat down in a chair, pulled out an ink pen, opened up a book, and started writing. I never said that.
You said he was the author of the Quran.
Absolutely.
So how did he compile it?
Listen. Jay-Z is the author of many rap songs. Did the nigga write it down? No.
So it was spoken to an angel. I'm trying to understand. How did it get compiled?
Yeah, but you know, you studied Islam, so you know it, but you're asking me. It's okay. Now go on with your question. What's your question?
How did he write it down if he's the author? How did he give it to whoever he gave it to give to
Allah sent it down through the revelation. Allah sends the revelation down through the angel Gabriel, alayhi salam.
You just spoke about Jay-Z, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So if Jay-Z's spitting something or somebody's writing something for him, did someone write for Allah, or did Allah author it himself and give it to someone?
Right. Allah is the author of the Quran. In other words, the words that's in the Quran is literally from Allah. Allah is the author. Now, how it was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was through the angel Gabriel. Allah sends the revelation down through divine inspiration.
So did Jesus and the Christians. But let me go further.
Yeah, Jesus got his through divine inspiration. Musa alayhi salam got his from divine inspiration. Yes, all of the prophets. Yes,
okay.
Go on.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that Allah wrote the Quran down. And
no, I never said that. I never said that.
So how did the words come to? Who wrote the words down?
I never listen. This wicked Negro in America named Sarah Suit said he was a wicked nigga, right? He makes a joke, and I agree with him. You know what he says? He said God ain't passed no book out the sky and hand nobody no book. He's right.
Excuse me.
So this is how you sound. You sound silly, brother. As if God handed a book out the sky and passed it to a man.
Mr. Abdul, can you not use the word Negro or N-word, please? Hello?
Yeah, I didn't say nigga. I said Negro, brother.
Brother, Abdul.
You said it earlier on.
He's a wicked Negro. Yes, he is.
Yeah, hey, stop saying the N-word. I found it very offensive. It's very offensive.
I apologize. No problem.
The N-word. The N-word's not a nice word. Don't say that, please.
Yeah, I said
friendly. No swearing. No swearing.
No problem. Sorry.
Brother Abdul, could you explain to us in layman's term how the words on the book came to be?
Right. So, like I said, Allah's the author, right? So he sends the revelation down through the angel Gabriel.
No, you're missing me. You're missing me right there.
How did the words get written into a book?
How did the Am I the only one not understanding what
I know the question. Rich.
Say the question again. I'm sorry.
Rich, the question is, Abdul, the question is, what Rich is trying to find out is how did Allah get this message? Because you said it got passed down through the angels and Muhammad. So how did
I answered this question, but go on.
No, how did Allah give the message to the angel?
You said how did Allah give the message to the angel? Wallahi, that's a good question. Allahu alam. In other words, Allah knows best. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how Allah gave the message to the angel Gabriel. I'm not saying that Allah passed him a book.
None of that. You don't know, why'd you believe it?
Wait.
Hold on. What does it got to do with the birth of the universe? What does it got to do with the beginning of the universe?
Hold on.
No, the reason why I say it is because Allah says it and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it.
Abdul, hold on. Now, Rich, do you understand that right now? See, once you deal with how did Allah get the message to the angel, if you don't know, we don't even need to get to the book bit. Let's deal with how Allah communicated with the angel. If they don't know, then what are we talking about?
No.
That's nonsense, Gabs. That's slick talk.
That's not fair. No, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not a Muslim, but I can see.
You know why that's not nonsense? You know why that's not nonsense? Because
wait. No. That's not fair what you're doing to Abdul. Because even though you may not agree, the difference between
No, they're being very technical. I love it.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a second. Wait. Hold on a second.
One at a time.
Can I say something real quick? All right.
Can I finish what I'm saying? Quickly, let me finish this quickly. You guys can speak.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, the reason why that's not nonsense here is because, look, you said this is the book and it's true because it comes from God, yeah? He's the author of this Quran. Now, we know that there's a Quran here today, yeah? There's many Qurans around in physical, yeah? Now, you said that Allah gave the message to someone who gave it to Prophet Muhammad, and this is why it's true because this is what happened. Now, if I go to the beginning and say, I'd ask you, how did Allah give the message to Angel Gabriel? And you say you don't know, but yet you know that the Angel Gabriel gave it to Muhammad.
Right.
Then I'm going to start asking you some questions. There's some hope, because if you don't know how he gave the message to this angel, how are you now going to start talking to me about some angel giving the message to Muhammad? So you know that.
No. You're reaching.
How are we going to know? How are we going to know that it wasn't just the angel that gave the message? If you don't know that.
Let me explain, brother.
Okay.
Okay, if I give Buddha something, right? And Buddha gives it to you. You understand what I'm saying? And then somebody asks you, Gabs, how did you get that? You say, Buddha gave it to me. And then you ask Buddha, well, how did you get it? Brother Abdul gave it to you. How did he give it to you? I don't know. Oh, so it's not true, this and that. Your premises is faulty. It falls apart. It falls apart, Gabs.
And the thing is,
brother, that's debunked.
That don't make no sense. Bro, if somebody,
do you understand English?
Hold on. No, if someone's giving me something, yeah,
right.
Obviously, there's two things: is either he's giving it to me verbally, yeah, or he's giving it to me as in a parcel, or he's saying, you know what I mean? So,
right.
How did Allah give the message to the angel? Because
now
you said,
hold up. You act like, wait a minute.
You're getting away from the distinction being made between what Abdul is saying and what Buddha was saying earlier. See, Buddha was making a claim. And when we asked him, he said he didn't know, but then he referred back to the textbooks. Okay, so he believes what the textbooks are saying. Abdul is doing the same exact thing. He's saying that he believes, he's not saying he doesn't know how the universe became. He's making an affirmation that the Quran says this about how the universe came.
Yeah, but it's literally
right about that. All I'm saying is, how did the message from Allah to the angel Gabriel, because you said that the Quran came down via Allah to the angel Gabriel,
that's a different text.
To Prophet Muhammad. So I want to know, how did Allah, a physical entity, how did he give this message to it?
Now that's a different issue other than
that's the question I asked. It's not a different issue.
Can I ask you something?
Guys, I answered your
question. Conversation.
I answered your question.
Creation of the universe.
You said you don't know. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You said the brother said Allah.
But hold on, what does it got to do?
Okay, so what's the next question? So what's the next premise? Like what?
Well, the reason why it's got to do with, Professor, is that you believe in dark matters and this and that, which is fine, but there's other people that believe there's an entity that created the whole thing. This is the problem. So I want to know from Abdul, when Allah, just using your analogy that you just used, when Allah gave, or you gave something to Buddha, what did you give him? Was it a book? Because obviously you're not going to give him words, so it must have been a book.
What do you mean I'm not going to give him words? Like a physical word that you can pick up with your hand? What are you saying?
You're saying that it's like you giving Buddha something and then Buddha gave it to Gabs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did you give to Buddha to give to Gabs?
An apple, an orange, a grape.
Right. Okay, so what did Allah give to Gabriel to give to Muhammad?
He gave him the Quran, the revelation, his revelation.
Exactly. So the book was already formed. Allah authored the book. That's what you're saying.
Yes, but wait a minute. Slow down, brother. I'm not saying that there was a physical book formed that he passed to Gabriel and say, here, take this physical book to Muhammad. I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
The words, listen, the revelation was formed. The revelation was formed. The words were created. Allah put his word down.
Right? Words like revelation, but let's just just layman terms. I'm using your philosophy.
Okay, so Allah gave Gabriel the book, right?
Hold on. So the
divine inspiration, the book was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, fine. So the book that Allah gave to Gabriel was
fully formed, yes. But don't get slick on me and act like I'm saying it's a physical book.
What are you saying then? I'm confused.
I'm saying, listen. Okay, let's go back to history, right? Anytime you think of the information, okay, right? No, I'm going to this so that you can get clarity and understanding, brother.
Please.
Now, when you look at our ancient African ancestors, right? When they would receive information, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from their ancestors, what was it? It was the oral tradition from the griots and things of that nature. They wasn't passed around no goddamn books, brother. Don't play games with me and speak out of ignorance. You know what I'm talking about. The words were spoken and the knowledge was taken in, and those information was passed down to generation through oral tradition. Through oral tradition.
Okay, so we're saying then Allah spoke orally to Gabriel and he wrote it down.
No, I never said Gabriel wrote it down. I never said Gabriel wrote down.
Hold on, that's what I was.
I never said Gabriel wrote down anything. This is spiritual.
Did Allah actually told Gabriel and Gabriel written it all down, then gave it to Muhammad? That's what I feel.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that though. I mean, you can believe what you want to believe.
But did that actually happen?
But hold on. When the angel come to Muhammad and he said Iqra, and he said read, what was he showing him?
He wasn't showing them shit. That's the point. He wasn't showing them no book.
So why did he tell him to read?
What? Because the divine revelation was coming to him. That's why. So he's telling them, look, recite. I'm not a reciter. And then he started reciting. Now the man, listen, hold up. The man is illiterate, right? So he can't read and he's not a writer.
What just happened there?
Okay. So there's no book involved. There's no physical book involved, brother. You understand that?
Why did he tell him to read though? What's he reading?
Because the revelation was coming to him. So he's telling them to recite.
So the revelation.
Listen, Iqra also means to recite, brother.
Hold on. Let's understand this. Hold on. Let's slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
He couldn't read. Yes. Now, if he can't read, what was being presented to him to read?
Listen, the Quran was coming to him. The revelation from Allah was coming to Muhammad. So the angel Gabriel is approaching him, letting him know, look, the revelation is coming, bro.
What, in book form?
Recite.
Yeah,
I'm not a reciter.
You said he was illiterate, that he couldn't read or write. So reciting and reading and writing, do different things. So what revelation? Something must have been physical for him to say.
But the real question is that who written the Quran? The real question is who written the Quran?
It must have been something physical when the griots was teaching their children and their grandchildren.
Hold on.
Come on, Op.
Well, when they said to recite, and when you just said that the revelation was coming to him, correct?
Yeah.
So was it Muhammad then who started to write the Quran?
No. Why are you so confused?
I'm trying to find out who penned.
You know what y'all problem is? Y'all caught up on a physical book. In your mind, in your carnal understanding, there's a physical book that somebody is walking around passing off to somebody and this and that.
Well, do you know what, Mr. Abdul? We're just using the same logic you used on me.
Yeah, Abdul, do you know why? Because
but if I'm telling you it ain't no goddamn book, and I'm telling
people don't get my logic either. It's the same crap all over and over again.
Abdul,
no, your logic is faulty. Your logic is biased.
All right, Abdul, the Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, was a human being. Now,
yes.
He's a human man. Yes?
Right.
Now, someone saying Iqra, and the Prophet said what? What's the first thing he said? He can't what?
He can't recite.
Okay. He can't recite. So what couldn't he recite?
He couldn't recite whatever the hell the angel was talking about. He don't even know what's going on. So he don't know what's going on. He don't know what the angel's talking about.
So
Oh, he knows that he himself, as an individual, he's not a reciter. He's not a reader. He don't run around writing books and
Okay,
reciting poetry and things of that nature. You understand? So the brothers, so the angel is asking him to read, to recite, or whatever. He's like, I'm not that. I don't read. I don't recite. Do you understand that? But do you understand what I'm saying? Hold up before we go forward.
Yes.
I don't understand what you
Muhammad is a human being. Yes. If a human being is saying they cannot read, is something physically being presented to them?
What you say that over? Say that over.
Bro, if I've got a book and I say to a child, read this, and they say I can't read it. Yes? Is that the same thing that was happening with the Prophet Muhammad?
No, because you got a physical book in your hand. No, that's not the same thing.
So why would it, so hold on. If I don't have a book in my hand and I tell a child to read, what am I telling them to read?
Listen, if you don't have a book in your hand and you're going to a child and you're telling them to read, let's say if the child was illiterate, whether you had a book in your hand or not, the child would say, I don't read. Duh.
What?
Oh my God.
Did you hear that? Did you understand English? Gabs. If you walk up to a child, right? You said, because this is your example. If you walk up to that same child, Gabs, and that child is illiterate, and you don't have a book in your hand, Gabs, and you say to the child, read, the child gonna say, well, I don't read. They don't need to see a book in your hand, Gabs. So, you don't understand that?
Muhammad wasn't a child.
Listen, so hold on.
Right, exactly. So all right then.
So hold on. What I'm trying to say is, so
if a child has sense enough to say I don't read, why wouldn't a grown ass man have the same sense?
Abdul, Allah and the angel, was bringing something to the Prophet Muhammad which they knew that he couldn't recite. Why would now what I'm trying to say, where this don't make no sense here, is for one, an angel is gonna come and bring something to a man that they know that he can't recite, he can't read, but they're gonna tell him to read.
Didn't Allah know that?
Listen, Allah knew he was illiterate.
So why
you have to wait a minute, slow down. But you have to understand, Muhammad, peace be upon him, wasn't a retard. He wasn't a mute. He wasn't like walking around like that. He wasn't a mute. The man could talk. All right. If you spoke Arabic to him, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could understand that.
Well, you
he just wasn't he just wasn't a person that sat around writing books. He wasn't a person that sat around and read books. He was illiterate on that level. And on top of that, he wasn't the type of person that was versed in literature, where he would be reciting and going around reciting poetry like the Arabs of that time. You had certain Arabs at that time who were literary geniuses and would recite all types of poetry.
Mr. Abdul, if I could answer you a
question. Do you understand? Do you understand what I just said?
Yeah, everyone's been talking. Guys, give me a minute. So, Mr. Abdul, did the Prophet Muhammad know who he was speaking to in the angel Gabriel?
No, he was confused. He didn't know.
So he didn't know it was the angel Gabriel.
No, this is the first time he's being approached by him.
Right. So
he don't know.
Sorry? Yeah, he doesn't know.
He didn't know. Right, go on.
Okay, so he didn't know who the angel Gabriel was, but he managed to take down a book which was the word of God.
He didn't take a book down and write down no book. No, that didn't happen.
So where did the words come from? Where did the words of the Quran come from? Where did it come from?
Allah. Allah is the author.
Right. So you keep saying he's the author, but the author means he wrote it.
He's the author, right? But Jay-Z is the author of rap, so he didn't write it down in a physical book.
Fine. So,
okay.
So Allah didn't write the book then?
Yes, Allah is the author.
Buddha, go on. I'm confused.
Listen, Allah is the author, but I'm not saying that Allah sat down in the chair. I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm not saying Allah sat down in the chair, grabbed a pen, grabbed some paper, turned the lights on, and started writing the book. I never said that.
How did
this is just stuck on this? Get past the physical book thing. Get past that. Okay, you have to get past that.
Hold on a minute. You know why I'm not going to get past it? Because you said earlier to Buddha that your book, the Quran, is and then you ridiculed what he believed in. So now I'm checking you to see what you believe in.
No, I didn't even do that to Buddha. I did. He made a statement. I was trying to understand why the brother could make a claim as if there's nothing that exists outside of the universe. That's all I asked him.
He wasn't. First of all, he wasn't.
Buddha doesn't know if there's something outside the universe or not. He doesn't know. The brother don't know. I just told you I don't know. I left this shit alone. The brother said he don't know. That's it.
Calm down, brother. Calm down.
Yeah, which is fine. Which is fine.
Calm down. Nobody needs to.
Buddha, you could talk. You want to talk to me, Buddha? Ask me 1,000 questions. Go ahead, brother.
Well, you see, the thing is,
hold on. Let me just explain this without. I said earlier when you asked him, he said correctly, "I don't know."
Right.
Now it seems that you know, so I'm asking you.
As far as the certain questions you asked me, I do know. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
he
now
said.
I'm asking you, how was the Quran compiled? Who compiled the Quran?
That's a new question. That's a brand new question.
No, it's not, because you're saying Allah didn't write it down with pen and paper and write.
Brother, will you
let me
call y'all? Go on.
Let me speak and you can talk.
I'm sorry, brother.
Me and Gabs was listening to you for nearly an hour without interrupting. So don't feel like you're under attack. Just answer simple questions. When Allah gave the message to Gabriel, how did he give him the message? Verbally or via a pen?
Yeah, once again, to be honest with you, that's why I said it's a very good question. I don't know how Allah actually gave the Quran, the revelation to Gabriel. Same thing with the Gospels and everything like that. All of the revelations from God. I don't know how God gave it to Gabriel. I don't know.
And this is my point. And this is the point Gabs was making. But if we don't
What's the point? Yeah, what is the point?
The point is you don't know, and you try to ridicule me by telling me I don't know. When I refer to a textbook, which is done by scientists, you ridicule me on that. You're referring to a book that you don't even know how it got created, and you expect me to believe you.
Well, you're a liar. I do know how it got created. You're a liar, brother. Brother, that's a lie. I do know how. I told you how it was created.
That's a lie.
I told you how it was created, brother.
How was it created? How was it created?
Allah created it. It's the word of Allah.
Hold on.
Yeah, right.
Allah is the author. Allah is the author.
I'm going to ask somebody on this panel. What does an author mean?
Somebody who is
someone who pens a book or pens a piece of literature is the author.
So why does he keep saying then Allah is not the author? I don't understand it.
Who said Allah wasn't the author?
But you're saying he didn't write it with no pen. So how did
it seems it seems to me that
wait a minute. Hold up. See, y'all acting stupid. Now check this out. Did Jay-Z author his rhymes? Yes or no?
We're acting stupid. Did you just say that?
Brother, can you answer the question? It's simple, because this is simple understanding. It's like my homeboy Israel Doctrine say, it's the simple science. Is Jay-Z the author of his rap songs?
Mr. Abdul.
Is Jay-Z the author of his rap songs? Yes or no? Is Jay-Z the author of his rap songs? Yes or no?
Mr. Abdul.
Answer the question, because it debunks you as soon as you answer it. And it shows how silly and how biased the argument is. As soon as you answer my question.
Why are you being so aggressive? Chill out, relax.
But Buddha, answer my question though. Don't dodge it.
I don't want to answer your question. You're being very rude. You're being aggressive. Why are you being aggressive?
I'm not being aggressive. I'm asserting myself because you guys are not doing the right thing. You're not being honest.
Why are you raising your voice?
Brother, you're not being sincere. I talk loud. My mic is loud, bro.
Okay, well, turn your mic down. Right?
I can't, man.
Okay, all right. There you go. Just talk a little bit calmly, right?
Because you're going to answer my question, Buddha.
As I understand it, what you're saying is, what you're proposing is that Allah narrated the Quran to the angel Gabriel, who in turn gave it to the Prophet Muhammad. Is that what you're suggesting?
Because that's possible, yeah.
No.
Wow. Okay.
That's a possibility.
Somebody else. I mean, let's go to a different conversation, please.
I think
no problem. Thank you.
Let's talk about football.
Yo, what happened to
Jesus, anything.
Who gonna win tonight? Cleveland, what's up?
You don't have to physically write, like use a pen or a piece of paper to be the author of a thing.
Thank you, Beckel. Thank you.
When you're the author of a certain document or a piece of literature, I mean, that's coming from the mind, is coming from the heart, and you can have somebody else dictate it and write it down for you.
Yeah, you know what? You explained that beautiful. But let me ask you a question.
How did
Is the Quran a physical book? Yes or no, with words in it?
Okay, but don't get it mixed up with
Yes,
physical.
yes. In 2018, bro.
Actual,
Let me just
but don't get it. Don't get
2018,
mixed
Muhammad
up with
sallallahu alaihi wasallam is dead, bro. It's 2018. Yes, it's a physical book. It's in a physical form, bro.
Yeah, it's in a physical form now.
The
Yeah.
Quran has been compiled, brother. We have it. We have
All
it.
right. Yeah, fine. Can I answer the question without you shouting, brother?
I'm sorry, my mic is loud. Go on.
Your religion must teach you some kind of morals.
Bro, go on, man. My mic is loud, bro. Relax.
I'm not even talking to you, brother. I'm talking to the other guy. What's his name? Jacob?
Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
Who, Vecco or me? Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to you.
What's the question?
Because of what you explained. So basically, we have a book today which was said to come back from way back then, and everything in it is correct. My question is, who compiled it? If you can't tell me who wrote the book, why should I believe it?
Well,
I just told you who wrote the book.
I
can't defend Islam because I don't know that much.
Exactly. Why are you asking him?
I'm not talking, bruv. Can I just, because he made the statement a minute ago.
Yeah, I can answer from a very basic
right. So therefore there have to be some form of literature, right?
Like I said before, if a person comes up with an idea and has someone else write those ideas down on a piece of paper, that person who's coming up with the ideas is still the author technically.
Right. Okay, fine.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like right now, if I start talking and Vecco records my words, I'm the author of those words. Right. It doesn't matter if Vecco wrote them down.
Okay, Rich, this is good. Now,
it's not Vecco adding in and deleting and editing my words. It's goddamn it, write down everything I say. Don't delete, add, or nothing.
Okay, slap. Okay.
No, let him talk. Gabs, because he just want to talk. Let him talk.
No, go on, man. No, I'm just making it clear.
Okay. So then now, are we saying that because I asked the question, how did the Quran get from Allah to the angel Gabriel, which you said you don't know? Because what you guys are basically explaining what you guys are basically explaining is someone speaking to someone, telling them to write this down, don't change it. So are you saying that Allah spoke to the angel?
Gabs, can I answer? Because I've just watched this for the past.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me
Habib, what's up with your Wi-Fi?
Let me mute out everybody's mics. I actually want Ibrahim to come in and actually speak on this topic. And I know I've been sleeping on the job. Man, them have been texting me, yo, Carl, you're sleeping on the job again. Allow me, innit? Just allow me. But if it's possible, if there's anybody who is on the panel right now that's not actually going to speak, please come off so we can allow Brother Ibrahim to come back in again, because I know he wants to tackle this topic. Let me quickly welcome Nikki Dudley. What's good? Okay.
Got room now.
Never mind. Okay. Ibrahim, please, if you are tuned in right now and you're watching it, I would love for you to come back on again so you can actually tackle this issue. And since we're waiting, let me get Gabs to reiterate the question again, as you was stated it to what's his name, Brother Abdul.
Yeah. So my question was, because the brothers was explaining, about how someone that offers something, they can speak to someone and get the person to say, listen, put this in, say this, say that, write this, don't change this. That's fine. But the key thing of what's happening there is it's a vocal conversation. So one person is speaking. So what I want to know is did Allah speak to the angel Gabriel? And the angel Gabriel took in the information and then brought it down to the Prophet Muhammad. Is that what you're saying? What happened?
I'm saying it could be possible. Allahu Alam. I don't know.
Okay, so then my second question would be, just to ask you as well, is Allah a physical entity, and are the angels physical entities?
Physical in what form? You mean matter?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that Allah obviously is not matter. That's no.
What
Now
about
the angels would be matter because the angels are created and they're made of light.
Okay, so now my second question is, if we have a non-physical entity and then we have a physical entity, how did the non-physical entity speak to the physical entity?
Well, I didn't say Allah was non-physical. I said that he's not matter.
You said, yeah, one is non-matter, which is non-physical, and one
But that
is
only applies to what Allah has created. That means the universe and everything in it.
so okay. So angel is made of light, which is matter, which is in the universe, right? Light.
Sure.
Okay. Now, and Allah is not physical, yeah. So he's not matter, is he?
He's not flesh and bones, right?
Yeah, it's not matter. So how did Allah, that's not physical or not matter, how did he speak to matter?
Can I answer this
go
question?
ahead,
Gabs,
Oxy.
yeah?
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, basically, I think Gabs is asking, first of all, how was the Quran passed down to Jibreel alayhi salam, then passed down to the Prophet Muhammad, yeah? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that the question?
That was a question.
Yes, that's the question, Habibi.
Okay, this is the answer, yeah? First of all, I'm a Muslim Sunni Salafi, right? And our belief is this. We believe in the attributes of Allah, that Allah can see, that Allah can hear, that Allah can speak. But the way that me and you can hear is not the same way Allah can hear. You understand? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees is not like the way we see. And likewise, the way He speaks is not the way we speak. So we believe that Allah spoke to the angel Jibreel from behind a veil, right? And then the angel Jibreel or Gabriel, he passed that down to the Prophet Muhammad. This is what we believe. But when we say he spoke, when we say he sees and he hears everything, this isn't the same way that I'm speaking to you now, or I'm seeing my phone right now, or I'm listening to you right now.
Gabs, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Gabs?
So 2 questions. So when the angel Jibril spoke to the Prophet Muhammad, is it like how me and you are speaking now?
Of course, so it won't be exactly. It won't be exactly the same way. Like for example, we believe in angels. Yeah, it's the same way. But obviously, the speech of the angels and the speech of the humans are created, right?
Bro,
It's a created thing.
When the angel was talking to the Prophet Muhammad, was it the same way how I'm hearing you now? Because the Prophet Muhammad is a human being. So
yeah, of course.
That's all. Yes, so that's a yes. Now, so this when Allah was now speaking to the angel, was it in the same way?
So when Allah spoke to the angel,
was it in the same way?
Wait, we need to word the question better.
So when you said the way the angel spoke to the Prophet Muhammad was the same way me and you speak. So I can hear you the way you're talking now. Yeah, physical entities talking. I can hear what you're saying into my earlobe.
I fully understand what you're saying. I fully understand.
So then now, Allah being a non-physical entity, and the other brother said that an angel is made from light, which is matter. Yeah, the physical thing. How did now Allah, who's not matter, speak to this physical entity?
I don't see why that's the issue. The angels have hearing faculties, the humans have hearing faculties, and Allah spoke to the angel, and then even when Allah spoke to Musa alayhi salam,
hold on, but Allah is not a physical entity. So how did He speak?
Why does that matter?
Because I need to understand how a non-physical entity is speaking to a physical entity. So for
why
instance,
is that a contradiction, Gabs? Why is that a contradiction?
Okay, outside is natural essence. I'll tell you why. Because the angel obviously spoke to the angel had the faculty, the capabilities of speaking to a human being. Yeah, hence it had a vocal cords and sound was traveling to the Prophet Muhammad's ears, which made him understand. Now, I want to know how did this Allah, who's not physical I don't think he has vocal cords.
Oh, okay, that's your question. Your
How,
question is how.
how did he now
Mhm,
speak to
mhm,
this physical angel
mhm,
who knew how to speak and understand what the Prophet
mhm,
Muhammad was, because they was in dialogue in the cave.
mhm,
So
mhm.
how did now the angel get the information from Allah? That's not physical.
Okay, I'll answer you. Yeah? Gabs' question is, how did Allah speak to the angel? So I've said to Gabs that Allah spoke to the angel directly, yeah, and that Allah speaks. And Gabs' question is how. You see, and the brother Kalam knows this as well, yeah. So I'll give you an example again. When Allah spoke to the angel, like
Take Keith, baby, take Keith.
no, it's not Takif. Listen, the same way. I don't know how Allah hears. I don't know how Allah sees, and I don't know how Allah speaks. You see what I mean? When Gabs is listening to me right now, there's vibrations going in his ears. When Allah is listening to me right now, there's no, we can't say your vibrations are going to him. Do you get what I'm saying? The way Allah hears, the way Allah sees, the way Allah speaks, we don't know. Because what did Allah say in the Quran? He's not like the creation. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're asking me specifically, how does Allah hear? How does Allah speak? How does Allah see? We're not allowed to say, because, for example, you know Imam Malik, yeah, he said that we affirm these things, but to ask how is unknown.
Okay, so
Exactly.
ask the question. So the creation as an human beings, can we hear Allah speak?
If Allah wants us to hear Him speak, like He chose the Prophet Moses, and also when the Prophet Muhammad, he actually went up to the heavens to speak to Allah. Yes, those two prophets did hear Allah speak.
Okay, fair enough. So okay, that's fine. So now I'm still stuck on the question is obviously the answer to your question is basically the way Allah speaks and hears and sees is nothing like the creation. So
yeah, so we'll only know from an aspect of creation, but the thing is, Allah's not like the creation, so we don't know. You see what I mean?
Okay, but
okay, hold up. Before you continue, real quickly, just quickly, can I get everybody just to put their notifications on silent or put their phones on silent mode? Because there's a lot of messages that's popping through that's causing disturbances. So yeah, continue, Gabs.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think the barrier, the thing that I'm having difficulty with is obviously Allah being a non-physical entity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Him now communicating to physical beings. You see what I'm saying? And matter. That's the only issue.
If you have an issue with that, fair enough. I mean, I can't help you with that. But in terms of your other questions that were answered before, I hope I have answered those in the best way.
Yeah.
But in terms of go ahead.
Sorry to cut you. The reason why I asked that, is because you said the Allah spoke to Moses. How did he speak to Moses? Was it face to face, or how was it? How was the message?
You see, the question is, you're asking how Allah did something. I don't know.
So I'm saying in the story, was it via a media? So was it via like a burning bush? Was it via something? Or did he literally?
Allah spoke. Allah has the attribute of speech. Allah has the attribute of seeing, hearing. Allah literally spoke.
So Allah is corporeal then. He's corporeal, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't via like a burning bush or anything like that.
I don't know about burning bush, but from what I know, from what our belief is, that Allah spoke. Wow. I don't know about any burning bush or anything. I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
So he literally.
Sorry.
Same thing I told you, Gabs.
I wanted to just ask him a question. You know the written form of the Quran when it first came down?
Yes, brother.
Who was the first one to write the Quran down?
It was the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Okay, so basically when Gabriel was speaking to Muhammad, he didn't really have a physical book. He was just...
No.
He was talking to Muhammad and they were writing it down.
Yeah, let me give you what's your name, brother?
My name?
Yeah, what's your name, bro?
Sadiq.
Sadiq?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadiq. Basically, what we believe, we don't literally say that, there was a parchment, there was a paper that was, when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was told, Iqra, read or recite, yeah? We don't believe that there was a physical, like, tablet, parchment, paper that was presented to him. Let me give you an example of what some of the scholars said, yeah? that this revelation was transferred directly to him. Yeah. So it's like, okay. I'm gonna give you different instances to explain the first instance, right? Sometimes the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he'd receive revelation in the form of a vision, a dream, and so on and so forth. Likewise, the first time, the revelation was literally transferred to him, and then he was told from what was transferred to him, read. So I mean, let's say I'm the angel now. Siddiq is here. I'm literally transferring the knowledge to you.
How are you doing that?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example like telekinesis. That's the best way I can explain it.
Oh.
So Siddiq, I'm giving you telekinesis now. No one knows what I've said. Now you read.
Okay, I could just recite then, because if you're kind of putting something in my mind, I could just really recite what you just told me.
Exactly. So that's why Iqra, it doesn't really mean physically read off the book. You can say it like that. Lughatan, yeah, you can. If I say to you, yeah.
So when he was reciting what the angel was putting into his mind, but the other people around him was writing it down.
No. I'll explain to you. But see, so the first part you got right, that the Prophet Muhammad was reading what he was revealed in his mind, right? The second part is obviously the Prophet Muhammad, before he wrote anything down, he transferred that onto his companions, and they all together they memorized it. Yeah.
Right.
When it was memorized, that's when later on they started to write it down and then pass it on to the people.
So is it fair for me to say then Allah is not the author of that book?
No. When we say Allah, okay. First of all, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is the author of the Quran in the sense where this is his speech. This is his uncreated speech. Yeah. This is his so what we say is that the speech of Allah is uncreated, because we say God's not created, right? So the speech of Allah is not created, and then this uncreated speech was written down. Yeah, was written down by the companions. Now, when you say the physical Quran, like the physical book, then obviously no, the physical book, Allah didn't write it down physically and then send it down. No, if you want to say in that sense, then no. But it's the speech of Allah, uncreated.
Okay, so let me get the train of narrations here. So you're saying Allah transferred something to the angel mentally?
No. With his speech.
So he spoke to the angel, and then the angel memorized everything that Allah said.
Correct.
And then he brought that same thing to Muhammad, but he didn't speak to Muhammad. He transferred it.
Okay, so it wasn't all the time like this. Like I said to you, sometimes it was speech, sometimes it was transferred, sometimes it was even in a dream, sometimes it was a vision. So, like, it wasn't all the time the same thing.
Facts.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, brother. That's our belief. Yeah.
Sorry. Can I just ask a question, just to interject, or just on that one? Why?
Yes,
you said something about telekinesis, right?
Well, it's not. Why? Well, I only use that as an example. I'm not saying it was literally telekinesis.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Why? What I don't understand is why. Let's say you don't say Allah. Why Allah would send his angel to him to give him telekinesis?
Your question is, why didn't Allah do it directly? Why did Allah have to send an intermediary?
That's not my question.
Oh, sorry, bro.
That is another question. I mean, if he was using the mode of telekinesis, why didn't he do it directly? But the fact he's using that mode, why did he send the angel to do that mode? And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm basing it off our history of narration through the Hebrew tradition. When angels were sent, they spoke unto the people they were speaking. They didn't give telekinesis to them. So the claim would.
Sorry, I think you mean telepathy, not telekinesis.
Yeah, maybe that's the right word. Yeah.
I'll just repeat what he said. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
But, the fact that the claim was that he was coming in the light of the Hebrew prophets, and the way the angels came onto them, the angels were speaking onto them verbally. That's the understanding. So it just doesn't make sense to me, the fact that he would send the angel to do some mind transfer without speaking onto him. And I want to ask you, does it specifically say within the Quran and the Hadith that was the case, or was that your understanding?
No, of course. So the brother, I don't know. Wait, how shall I answer this? So it wasn't all the time. I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago that the Prophet ﷺ sometimes used to receive dreams. So this was the angel Jibreel wasn't even involved in this because this was a direct dream. Do you get what I'm saying? So what was your specific question? Sorry, I forgot. Give me the specific question again.
For this specific time when they said Hikra, yeah, right?
Iqra, yeah, this was literally the angel came down.
When you said recite, right? What was the mode of communication between the angel and Muhammad?
So the angel literally squeezed the Prophet ﷺ and transferred that knowledge over to him. Is the correct word telepathy? I don't. Like I said, these terminologies, I'm just using it to explain it. I can't say it was actually telepathy, like, because they're angels and maybe there's different words for that. But you know, that's the best kind of synonym or kind of
Mr. Real, I've got a couple of questions, if I may.
Is that Buddha?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Bro, it's me, Ibrahim. The reason why I'm on this real account is for some reason I've been blocked on my other account. Remember the last time we was talking about ISIS and stuff like that.
Yes, Habibi, I remember. But you know what? That's why you shouldn't troll, boy. You wouldn't get blocked. But anyway, I'm joking.
Anyways,
all right, let me ask you a couple of questions. Yeah.
Go on, Breeder.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong to believe a textbook over a religious book that I don't believe in?
Are you wrong?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you look in a book and there's evolution in there, are you wrong to believe that over the Bible or over the Quran?
Yes.
It depends. For example, okay, let me give you so the Quran is totally against evolution, yeah?
Okay, we're not talking about evolution. We're talking about the creation of the universe. Don't want to get too deep in it because we've had like an hour
it's
conversation.
A Big Bang discussion. Yeah, I was in it. I wasn't in the convo, but I was in the. I was on the YouTube. Yeah.
So I base my beliefs on evidence from science and physics and stuff like that. Yeah. So am I wrong to believe in the science and the physics and not believe in the Quran or the Bible?
Honestly, Buddha, if you can say to me today that the Big Bang Theory is 100% facts, and if you want to believe in that, then what can I say to you?
Okay, all right. Okay, cool.
But obviously, that's not the case.
Believe what you want. Right. Yeah, Buddha, believe what you want, bro.
Right. You see that goes back to what we were trying to say before. We're not, nobody's trying to criticize what you believe. It's just that when you make a positive claim, you do have the onus on you to validate the claim to the best of your ability, despite the fact that whether or not somebody agrees with you or not.
Okay,
right.
But the reason why,
if I could maybe just explain precisely and concisely what I said, okay? So very, very quickly, I believe that the universe was created. What preempted that creation, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so this is
no problem. No problem.
Right? So,
no problem.
So
that's it.
Right. So
boom, it's over.
No, well, no, it's not over because you're
telling.
It is.
Well, wait,
because you're about to make a claim now. Go on.
Yalla, go. Khalas.
No. What? Listen. What Buddha is trying to say is this. Yeah, he believes that the Earth was created via. I think. Do you say Big Bang? Yeah.
No, he didn't say he believed.
He said microorganisms created the universe. That's what the man said.
That's what I said. Man, I'll come to America and slap you. That's what I said.
No,
crazy.
That's what I just said, Buddha. Relax, bro. What's wrong with you? Buddha, why are you going crazy, brother? That's what I just said, Buddha. I said you said that.
No, it's Professor said that. Professor said that, not Buddha.
Buddha did say that. He agreed with it.
It wasn't even Professor. It was the gentleman.
It was Buddha.
It was not Buddha, you imbecile. It was
Buddha. Did you regurgitate it and say yes? That's what the book say. I agree with it. Didn't you say that?
You're deluded.
Hey, bro,
you're deluded, man.
Hey, Buddha. No. Hey, Buddha.
No,
the people gonna put the time mark on the video. No problem.
No. I was here. Yeah, I heard what
said.
No. Wait. Let me tell you what Buddha said. Yeah, Buddha
said. Hold on.
Let Buddha tell us.
I'm the one where the words came out of my mouth. I was trying to actually say matter, not microorganisms, and I was trying to just add on to what he said that we learned in school. It wasn't my assertion what I believed. I was just trying to clarify something that he was saying that we learned in school, and I used the wrong terminology. So it wasn't him that said that. And do you know what? That's not the first time you presuppose something onto someone that they didn't say, because you did the same thing to me. So you need to listen carefully.
Wait,
do that.
Hey, brother, did Buddha agree with you or not?
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
No, he didn't.
All right, I'm going to put the time marker up myself. No problem.
Bro, he didn't. You've been doing that consistently through this conversation.
Right, lads.
Yeah, we just
What did I accuse you of
We
saying?
might as well move on, because this is like round 2 from half an hour ago, fam.
Oh man,
criticizing
let's get it.
somebody.
All right, mute your mics, please.
And just asking them to verify.
Mute your mics. Mute your
I don't
mics.
want to get slapped over here.
All right, mute your mics. Hey, yo, Gabs, what you saying? Where you going with this? Where you at, Gabs?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just listening. You know, still listening to what the brother was saying. You know, still trying to understand. But what was kind of interesting is that, you know, you have the Muslims that have different views, because, you know, when I spoke about that question about how Allah spoke to the angel, you know, Abdul clearly said Allahu alam, he has no idea. And then the brother that just come in now was saying, you know, some form of telekinesis, or, you know, his voice is. But my main thing is nobody knows at the end of the day. You know what I mean? No one was there. Like what Abdul said, Allahu alam, you know, I could understand that, because you don't know. Nobody would know. No one can't try to explain and say, yeah, he did it this way. Do you know what I mean? If Allah's speech is not like unto his creation, which includes the angels, how are we now going to say how he spoke to the angel? We don't know.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
So yeah. So what I'm trying to say is the answer to that would have been clearly, we don't know how he gave that information to the angel. No one knows.
No. Your question was, Your question was to Brother Abdul, How did Allah give the revelation to Jibreel? Some brother said, did he transfer a book? Some brother said, did he have like a ghost kind of book, like not a physical form of a book, some kind of like I don't know how to explain it.
I didn't even mention it. I just wanted to know how we communicate the angel Gabriel.
Yeah,
but like I said,
and the answer is that he spoke to the angel Jibreel. The reason why Abdul said Allahu alam, akhi, am I allowed to say this here? The reason you said Allahu alam is because you haven't studied this issue.
No, listen to me, brother. What I did say was, right? I said it's all about the oral tradition. I actually went into history to show my African brothers how the griots and the ancestors used to pass down information by the spoken word. So I did say that he was spoken to, but I'm not going to be specific about it, because me and you both don't know, brother. You can't be 100% definite and say Allah did it like this and that. We don't know. But I did say that Allah spoke to the brother Gabriel, alayhi salam.
Akhi, so whatever I said, did you agree with me? Yeah.
I don't know about like telekinesis and stuff, because I know you was trying to you know, answer the question, but you don't know. You're not certain.
Okay, no. My question, Abdul, is this: Gabs is saying you said Allahu alam, how Allah spoke to the angel. I didn't say Allah did telekinesis to the angel. I never said that. I said Jibreel alayhi salam did that kind of telepathy thing with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Right.
Gabs is saying. Gabs' question is, how did Allah transfer that to Jibreel? I said Allah spoke to Jibreel. Do you agree with that?
And then I said that already. And then the brother said, well, how did he speak to him?
Then
the same way me and you talking? Then what did you say?
Oh yeah, we say we don't know how. Yeah.
You say Allahu alam.
Yeah, that's my point. So
this is what Allah tells us to say when we don't know, brother. We can't just start making stuff up to sound intelligent on some whack ass YouTube channel. You feel me? You gotta be truthful.
But that's so. But Gabs, where's the difference of what me and him are saying? Because I said the same thing.
Yeah. He's trying to make it seem like we're going against each other, but yeah.
Did that gentleman just refer to Titans TV as whack ass?
That's what I was just.
No, I'm just speaking in general. You ain't got a whole man. Get off Kalam nutsack. That's my brother. Kalam is my brother. Stop it.
Just clarify.
Stop it, bro. Come on, man.
Just clarify.
Let's clarify, man. Go on.
Okay. So where we go at now is basically the. Okay, go on, bro.
Okay. Do you know what? Yeah. When that laugh comes in, you know about to have some fun, right? All right. You got me cracking it up right now. All right, cool. Unfortunately, since my Muslim brothers don't know the answer to the question, I'm gonna put on my kufi real quickly, I'm gonna put on my turban real quickly. You see, I've been taking some lessons, So let me give you a quick download. So the question was, Gabs, can you reiterate that question again?
Yeah, how did Allah speak to the angel Jibril?
All right, cool, So the real answer to this question is this, No, I need to stop. All right, cool.
Kalam, you got the answer, bro? You got the answer?
I do, I do.
Ya Allah, man. What you going to say? Divine inspiration? What you going to give us, man? Go on. I'm going on mute, brother.
Should I tell you how Allah speaks? Allah speaks through symbols and signs. In this Quran, he says he speaks in ayats, in verses. And the duty of a prophet and a messenger is to actually interpret the signs and symbols.
What?
You didn't know that?
You better show me some source. You best show me source. You can't make claims like that.
Kalam, you just did some mad tafsir there, fam. You just did some mad tafsir, bro.
Kalam is too good. He's going to quote the Quran right now for us. He's going to show us the screen.
He needs to show us sources.
You're damn skippy, Nah,
he doesn't.
So if you go to
Kalam doesn't need to show. I know what he's talking about. It's right. Allah does speak to us with verses on that, but.
No, he never said verses. He said signs and symbols. Is that what he said?
No, he doesn't literally mean signs. Do you literally mean signs and symbols, or do you mean ayat?
What is the definition of an ayat?
It's a verse, right?
Yeah.
Because when you say signs and symbols, I'm thinking of like, you know how chemists have those signs and symbols of that. I'm thinking
the hieroglyphics. Nah, he's not talking about that.
Yeah. That's what comes in my head.
Hold on, let me see what Kalam is saying. Show me something.
Yeah, I know. I think I know where Kalam is going.
Show me something, Kalam.
I need to stop you. I'm catching too much jokes. You know me, I can't help but speaking the truth, even though I'm joking around. So as I was saying, Allah speaks via His signs and symbols. I know everybody's going to get confused with that one, because all sorts is just popping into your mind. But the literal definition of ayat is literally signs, symbols, tokens, verses, etc. Right?
Sure.
Am I correct in saying that? Yeah, cool. So Allah communicates via signs and symbols, and it's down to His and His angels to interpret the divine will. Am I false in saying that, or am I right in saying that?
Can I say that again? Because I think my connection or your connection messed up.
Okay, so Allah communicates via signs and symbols. Is that correct? Via ayats, signs, symbols, ayats, verses, etc. Correct?
To people like me and you, yeah?
To people like me and you?
Yeah.
What's about His prophets?
No, I told you he spoke to Moses. He didn't. When he spoke to Moses, he didn't send him ayat. He literally that burning bush scene. He literally spoke to Musa alayhi salam.
Actually, Moses.
Okay, when he spoke to Muhammad, did he speak to him via signs and symbols, or did he speak to him via what? How did he speak to him?
So there's If you're talking about the Quran sense, then it was with ayat. But when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam he went on the Isra wal Miraj, and when he went to the seven heavens, Allah spoke to him directly with speech, not with ayat.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Okay. You are familiar with Surah Al-Najm?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm on a sabbatical, I'm on a sabbatical, so I'll give it to you lot to pull up in your own spare time.
No. Kalam, your point is Allah speaks to us in ayat. Yeah, this is for the whole universe. because I can't hear what Allah is saying, right? Kalam, Gabs, Abdul, we can't hear the speech of Allah because Allah doesn't speak to us. Allah speaks to us in ayat, verses, not symbols and signs, in verses.
Okay. So if you go to Surah
Kalam is giving a linguistic meaning of ayat. I'm giving you the Islamic istila meaning of ayat. What does ayat mean? Istilahan, it means verses of the Quran. Ayat, if you try to linguistically, I can write ayat down linguistically, right? But this when Allah speaks with ayat, yeah, this is what everyone. But when I say Allah literally spoke to Angel Jibreel, this is with speech. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally spoke to the Prophet Moses, this is with speech. When Allah spoke to, when Allah even gave the revelation, not revelation, but when Allah told, how can I explain? When Allah gave the gift of Salah to the Prophet Muhammad, He spoke to him in the seven heavens with His speech.
Okay. So if we go now, yeah, so Surah Al-Najm, verse 18, yeah?
Yeah, I'll go on it as well. Go on. Surah Al-Najm, verse 18.
And it clearly says, yeah, that he certainly saw of the greatest signs of his lords, right?
He certainly saw the... Yeah, go ahead.
Am I correct in saying that?
That's what the Sahih International says. Yeah, go ahead. Well, I can't translate it for you word for word, but I'm relying on the Sahih International translation.
All right. If you don't go to the Sahih International, it has the Pictal, has revelations. Yusuf Ali has signs. Shakir has signs.
The best one is Muhsin.
Muhammad Sarwar signs, etc., etc., etc. Sorry?
Let me go to Muhsin Khan because that's the best translation for me.
Yeah.
Najm. What verse, sorry, is it?
53:18.
18. Indeed, Muhammad did see the greatest signs of his Lord. Yeah, go ahead. I'm on the verse now.
Okay. Where he actually got to go past every other boundary where even the angels weren't even allowed to go past.
Yep.
And he was communicated via signs, okay, via ayat, rather than whatever else you lot are talking about.
Where did you get that explanation from?
Okay, so when it talks, Allah speaks from behind a veil, okay, that is literally the definition of a symbol. Literally the definition of a symbol.
Wait, 1 second.
Meaning,
are you showing this on your screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, why are you on? Why is that?
This Quran. So right now we have the Arabic, we have the transliteration, and then we have the direct translation.
You know your source now, like who's doing this, like exegesis? Who's doing it?
It's not exegesis. This is just a direct word-for-word translation.
Oh, you're giving it from like a lughawi perspective, yeah? Linguistic perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So right there, okay, I'm just simply saying this is just what it says. It says that, when he went up, he saw his Lord, and so forth and so forth. Okay, he didn't literally see him. It was just simply signs or symbols that was going on. Okay, everything that you hear about revelations, it's signs and symbols, and it's the duty of a prophet. Literally, the actual meaning, not literally, but one of the meanings of a prophet is to be the interpreter of the divine will. Angels, okay, when they speak to prophets, they are the interpreters of the divine will, passing on a message to a prophet. Fortunately for Muhammad, he even transcended the angels. He was able to go past the angels. Correct. And receive divine revelation from Allah Himself from behind the veil, i.e., symbols, signs and symbols.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So that's how Allah communicates, by signs and symbols.
Okay, 1 second. Wait. Let me verse 18.
Hello.
You guys talk here. I'm bringing the tafsir. All right. You guys talk. Okay. I'll be back. I'm still on the call, but I'm just gonna go on mute.
Can I just take over from the brother? The question that Gab said, like, what's the fruits of it after it gets answered? Like, what's gonna be like the breaking point?
Is that to me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's to you.
It's not that what's the fruit of it. It's just gaining understanding. Basically, it's just knowing how. Because I want to know how. I'll speak to a lot of Muslims, and brothers say Allah exists outside of. Yeah, hold on a second, bro. Yeah, he exists outside creation, time and space, and all these things. So it's interesting to find out how exactly this non-physical entity that lives outside time and space and outside the universe is connecting to things that are basically in the universe, like angels, and they're physical. So it's kind of good to understand how he's able to communicate with these beings, even though he's outside time and space and he's not physical. So yeah, I just wanted to get understanding on that.
Right. The Muslims that you talk to, they usually do say as well that Allah is, he's able to do all things, right?
That's fine.
Yeah, I was about to address that. Yeah, go ahead.
Kalam.
Like, if he's able to do all things, why is it
exactly
not easy to understand, how he could talk to, how the way he,
Yeah, that's light work, Gabs. In other words, it's light work. You know what I mean? We talking about the creator, man.
No, the reason why that's not light work, and the reason why that's still going to be tough, because remember, if you have an entity that's outside time and space, whose speech, whose hearing, whose seeing is not like ours, it's nothing like things that's inside time and space and in creation. How are you now going to communicate with those things that are inside time, space, and creation? Because
let me
hold on.
Okay. Of these things that we're subjected to, then sure enough, he should have the ability to communicate to us in that fashion.
Hold on a second. Did I finish? Yeah. So hence now, yeah. Me being outside of a lake, yeah, I cannot. If I was to communicate to a fish, would they know exactly what I'm saying?
No, that's not a bad. That's a bad analogy.
Yeah, you can't compare
yourself. That's a really bad analogy. That's a really bad analogy. First of all, you didn't create the fish. Humans don't have a means to communicate with fish in the same way that we communicate with each other. If you created something, you've given it all the faculties that it needs to communicate with other things like it, the things around it, and even if you so choose, between you and the thing that you created. So if God is the creator, he's the arbiter of all these things that we observe around us. Sure enough, then he should have the ability to communicate to us in a fashion that's not like the way humans interact with each other.
No, but what I'm trying to say
is, that's so simple. It's so simple, guys.
Yeah, it really is simple.
But what I'm trying to say is, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand what he's trying to say you, because, like you said, Allah's speech, he's hearing, he's seeing, the things that he's saying is not unlike unto ours, right? So
again,
so for instance, hold on. So for instance, we have 2 hands, right? Does Allah have hands like our hands? You'd say no. So we know what one is. Yeah, this is another prime example I always use. We know what the number 1 is, right? When you say 1, we understand. We all understand. Those who went to school know what 1 is. Yeah.
Right. There's no physical quality to it.
Now, is the one that we understand on the human plane the same one as God?
It's the one. God, if we're saying, I don't know what the Muslims believe, but if we're saying that God is the arbiter of all these things, including logic, wisdom, and all these other things, then we say one because he's the one that created that concept.
So to the Muslims,
it wouldn't be different from what
Gabs. I'm gonna answer you, yeah. But please, forgive me. Yeah? Let me answer Kalam quickly. If Kalam accepts what I say, then we can move on to your one swiftly.
Okay, cool.
Is Kalam there?
Yeah.
Kalam, I'm gonna ask you a question now, yeah, because what you done is so sick. Yeah, listen to me. You're Kalam. You know I rate you in it. You know you're a clever guy in it. But I want you to. I want you to read the verse to me and explain it again.
Okay.
Go on, bro.
Oh, you want me to read it now for you?
I want you to read it to me and explain it to me and explain how you've explained it.
Okay, let me actually go to it itself. 53. Maybe let me get some context with it as well. Let me start from 53, 15.
Go on, bro. Yeah, go on.
All right, let's quickly do this. Share screen. Whew. All right. All right. Okay. Near it is the Garden of Refuge. Okay, maybe 13. Let's see about 13 so we can get what's going on. Okay. And he certainly saw him in another descent at the lottery of the utmost boundary. So this is the mirage that's taking place right now.
No, you was on Surah Al-Najm, bro. I just got the tafsir of Surah Al-Najm. Why have you gone to a different?
I know. I'm just this is Surah Al-Najm. This is Surah Al-Najm. I'm just quickly going. Yeah, I'm just going through so everybody can kind of
okay.
gauge the context, okay? And he certainly saw him in another descent at the lottery of the uttermost boundary. Near it is the Garden of Refuge. So, okay. So right now, supposedly, this is the mirage where Muhammad now went up into the heavens with the angel Jibrail, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh heaven. And then he even got to go above the seventh heaven, where he got to see the beloved lottery. Okay, and here it is, the Garden of Refuge. When there covered the lottery, that which covered it. Okay, the sight brackets of the prophets did not swerve, nor did it transgress. He certainly saw of the greatest signs of his Lord. Okay, so that's it there.
Wait, can I just
he certainly saw.
Can I just ask, what's the disagreement between Kalam and the brother?
No, basically the argument is that I'm saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the attribute to speak. So when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went to Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, Allah literally spoke to him. Yeah, and Kalam's argument is no, he didn't speak to him. He communicated with the Prophet Muhammad with signs and symbols. So I'm saying Allah spoke, and Kalam is saying no, the communication was with signs and symbols.
Okay.
Go on, Kalam.
Okay, so you're saying he spoke right here. It says he certainly saw of the greatest signs of his Lord, and the word right here for see, okay, is right there.
Okay, shall I?
Oh, sorry. I'm not even showing.
I want you to give me.
Right here.
I want you to give me your explanation to this verse and tell me how you've explained it.
Okay, so now, okay, I'm gonna have to do a very different.
Yeah, because I've got the tafsir in front of me now.
I'm gonna have to do.
I want you to give me your tafsir, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a very difficult job right now. Why is it a very difficult job? Because there is what's considered to be ikhtilaf, differences of I don't want to say opinions, of recordation and acceptance amongst the Salaf, i.e. the Sahabas and the early companions and the early people of Islam. Okay, so some of them said that yes, by God, Muhammad did see Allah face to face. Okay, and then there is other ones saying no, it was an angel, and then there is another one saying that he didn't see him. So one is saying that he did see him, and another one is saying that he didn't see him. Basically,
what Kalam is saying is this: yeah, Kalam is saying there was a difference of opinion between the Sahaba, and I'll give you the difference of opinion. Yeah, the difference of opinion was this: Aisha radiallahu anha and Abdullah ibn Abbas, they both differed. One side said that the Prophet Muhammad literally saw Allah. The other side said that he didn't see Allah, rather he felt his presence in his heart. This verse is saying, read it out, Kalam.
He certainly saw of the greatest signs of his Lord.
Okay, my answer to you is this: what on earth does this have to do with Allah speaking to the Prophet Muhammad? This is about seeing Allah. This isn't about communication in the sense where the Prophet Muhammad spoke to Allah and Allah spoke to Prophet Muhammad. This is about literally seeing Allah. Yeah. So how on earth does that come into context in our discussion with me and Kalam? I mean, me and Gabs.
Okay, because this is the form of communication that was taking place. Okay, so you're going to say that Allah spoke to Muhammad. Okay, and now you're going to have to explain to me, how did he speak to Muhammad? And quite clearly, he did not speak literally speak to Muhammad. All of this that was taking place right now is called a vision. Okay, it's a vision that's taking place where Muhammad, this is supposedly the second time he actually got to see Allah in a visionary state. Okay, in a visionary state, not in an actuality, but in a visionary state. And hence I'm saying to you, it's signs and symbols that's taking place right now. So it's symbolically saying he saw Allah and Allah communicated certain things to him. I would go into the gravity of it, but it's going to be a long one because I'll have to go into what was taking place at this time according to the Hadiths. Now, according to the Hadiths, okay, it is Moses telling Muhammad to go and bargain or negotiate with your Lord and tell him, no, 50 prayers is too much. Let's get it down to a little bit lower, 40 prayers, 10 prayers, and so forth, until it goes finally down to 5 prayers. Now, for those of us who are able to read in between the lines and read in between, the jostling of power, we understand that this is a symbolic story. It's not something that is literal. Okay, it's not something that's literal. Okay, God isn't a God that changes his mind on things. Okay, God does not change his mind. If he said 50, it's 50. If he said it's 40, it's 40. But of course, God doesn't speak like that. It's now talking. No, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go into some greater exegesis for you. I'm just simply saying that this is a symbolic story and a symbolic occurrence that's taking place. God does not literally speak to anybody.
Again, Kalam.
Interesting.
This verse does not support your argument. This verse is saying that the Prophet Muhammad did not see Allah. My argument is that that Allah can literally speak to his prophets. So like how when Moses was on this earth, Allah spoke to him. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Yeah. When he went up, okay,
yeah.
And at this point, this moment in time, remember, he's above the 7th heaven. Okay, he's beyond lottery. The angel supposedly wasn't even allowed to follow him beyond this point. How did Allah speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did Allah speak to him? What was the form of communication that was taking place?
Allah spoke to him with his divine speech.
With his divine speech.
Yeah, Kalam. I said to Gabs, I think about 1 hour ago. Yeah, I said to him, the way Allah sees, the way Allah hears, the way Allah speaks, we don't.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm
literally saying to you that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he heard what Allah said. You're saying to me, no, this was signs and symbols. So you're saying that the Prophet Muhammad didn't hear anything from Allah. Is that what you're saying?
No, he clearly didn't hear anything from Allah.
So that's where the difference is. I'm saying literally.
In terms of literally, you're saying literally. In terms of literally, there is no literal here. This is all talking about visions. This is something that he saw within inside of his heart. If you go back into the beginning of this chapter, 53, maybe verse 3 or so, 4 or so, it talks about something he's seen in his heart rather than something he's seen with his eyes.
Again, this doesn't support you, Kalam. It doesn't.
Can I just mention?
It doesn't?
You're talking about sight.
Allah, I think this whole discussion is quite, there's no need for it because we're talking about how Allah communicates with his creation. Then it's quite clear. There's Allah, he reveals, he can talk, he can show signs. Like if you want to specifically mention communication, you can, as Allah, he says in the Quran, إِذْ يُوحِي رَبُّكَ إِلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ when the angels, when he gave the command to the angels through revelation, he can reveal, he can talk. Another proof of that is Allah said, قَالَ اللَّهُ هَذَا. It means Allah has said today. So Allah, in the Quran, if you want to, I think Kalam, you're trying to prove that Allah communicates through signs and he doesn't actually talk himself. Am I getting you right?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think.
Can you say it again? Say it again.
Are you
I didn't get that last bit.
Allah communicates through signs and verses, but he doesn't talk himself.
He does not literally talk as how human beings talk. No.
Of course, yeah, I agree with you. Nothing.
No, Kalam. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either.
Because if nothing, as the brother mentioned before, anything you try to لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ, there's nothing like how Allah does his actions. If he's talking, then nobody else can talk like Allah.
So how
when
did
he,
he communicate with the
so
human being?
when he spoke to Moses at the burning bush, how did he speak?
Okay, when you say how,
yeah,
we don't know how.
Brother, you asked the same question half an hour ago. We said we don't know how.
No, because when you were talking to Kalam earlier, you said just like how Moses and all of the rest of the prophets spoke to the Lord. But really and truly, when you read the Bible, Moses didn't really speak to God. It's an angel that appeared to him.
Okay, what we believe is that Moses saw like a fire on a mountain, and he went to the mountain.
I'm not really interested in what you believe. I'm telling you what the Bible says.
I'm addressing your previous question about how did he speak to Moses.
Oh, that was Gabs. Sorry.
Okay, the how, when you say how, Allah reveals. So Allah says, مَا كَانَ لِبَشَرٍ, it is not for a human being to be communicated to except through revelation, or before a hidden barrier, or that he sends what do you call it, messengers to them to communicate to them. So there's different ways that Allah communicates, and in this case, the specific case about Moses, we can say that Allah used the fire as a barrier, or the bush as a barrier, or as a medium to communicate.
Okay, but their question is, did Musa alayhi salam hear with his ears, or was it signs and symbols?
That's a good question.
This is the point.
My claim is Musa alayhi salam heard Allah's speech.
Nah, see, this is where I don't. Because this is the point we're getting at. This is what we're trying to understand.
Because clearly, listen. Clearly, Kalam. Wait. I'm gonna mention one thing. Then I'm gonna go.
Before you get to Kalam, because the brother that was just speaking just now clearly said he doesn't know. He doesn't know of his speech. He speaks, but he don't know the speech.
That's himself.
So what I'm trying to say is, that's fine. If you're saying Allah communicated, that's fine. But when you're saying speech, him talking and people listening in their eardrums, human beings. You see what I'm saying? These are human beings. You just said that earlier.
You asked me the same question, Gabs. You asked me the same question, Gabs.
No, hold on. The reason why I'm saying that is because you just said earlier that the angel didn't speak speech to the Prophet Muhammad. You used some sort of telepathy.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No. Let me tell you what I said.
Hold on.
No. Let me tell you what I said. No, let me tell you what I said.
The brother said something about telepathy and telekinesis.
No. You said half of what I said.
Okay, go on.
I said when the angel, there was different instances. Sometimes the angel spoke. Sometimes it was in a dream. Sometimes it was in a vision. The first time it was a hug. And that. So from what you're saying, I said it was only like that when I gave the example. No, it's not that. Sometimes the angel spoke. Sometimes Allah revealed in a dream. Sometimes in a vision. So now, and I said the same thing to you. You can't fathom the fact that not we, but rather Moses heard Allah's uncreated speech. You can't fathom that. And what I'm saying to you is this: we don't know how Allah hears. We don't know how Allah sees. We don't know how Allah's speech is. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Musa alayhi salam hear him. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the angels hear his commands. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Prophet Muhammad in the Isra wal Miraj hear his speech.
But this is my point. But then, bro, my point, that when you're saying all this stuff, it sounds all good, but one thing you seem to be forgetting is that all these people that you're mentioning are human beings. Yes, we're all human beings. The moment you're saying hearing, that's words and vibration going into somebody's eardrum. You see what I'm saying? The moment you're saying I heard or I'm hearing someone speak to me, that's inquiring, hearing through your eardrums. You've heard something. So now you're telling me that Allah is now speaking words that's vibrating into a human being's ear.
I never said that. You're explaining how Allah speaks.
But bro,
I said to you, we don't know how.
No, but listen, you can say you don't know how, but you're a human being. How do human beings hear?
ليس كمثله شيء. I just said to you that we
How
don't
do,
know
no,
how.
It could also be
how
explained
do
through
human beings
revelation.
forget about how Allah communicates? How do human beings on the planet Earth?
You know how they do through vibrations in our eardrums.
All right then. So then, how now? If it's not via vibrations, how else is a human being that hears via eardrums? How else are they going to hear? What other forms?
But we didn't necessarily say that it's through vibrations. It might have been
What
revealed to
other
him.
forms other than vibrations is a human being going to hear?
Is Allah restricted to vibrations?
Forget Allah and being restricted to vibration. A human being we're talking about. How is a human being on the planet Earth going to hear if it's not vibrations or sound?
Can Allah, wait, bro? Can Allah make it so that we don't need vibrations to hear?
Bro, listen. This is what I'm saying. You're now saying to me, I'm not talking about Allah. We are human beings.
No. I'm talking about me and you. I'm talking about me and you right now.
That's
can
fine.
Allah make it? No. I'm talking about me and you.
Allah,
Can Allah make it so that I don't need vibrations in my ears to hear? Yes or no?
Listen to what I'm saying. Allah created human beings with ears to hear and eyes to see. So, if Allah created human beings with ears to hear, eyes to see, nose to smell, yeah? Now you're going to tell me, hold on, if this God's going to speak to me, hold on, forget the ears that he created for me to hear. He can just talk to me anyhow. No.
Okay, wait.
Yo, Gabs, let me just, gentlemen, can I just interject just for a minute? Just please. Now, look, if you are Muslim and you believe in Allah and you believe that Allah created the universe, if Allah can create a universe, I don't see what the problem with him communicating with a man, either telepathy or through prayer or through vision or what. If he can create the universe, he can more or less do anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
That's one side. And what I would also mention is if Moses.
Hold on. What do you mean exactly? What do you mean by that exactly?
If Allah is powerful enough to create something so vast and so powerful as the universe, then communicating with a human being will be next to nothing. Just really.
Now let me ask you something, Buddha.
Go ahead.
Can Zeus be just as powerful as Allah?
Dependent if you believe in Zeus. If you're a Christian, so it's dependent on what religion you believe on.
Now,
You know what I'm
do
saying?
Christians believe that their God is powerful and the creator of this earth?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right. So the what we're getting at here is who's telling the truth?
Well, this is
Sadiq, you asked me the exact same questions half an hour ago.
Can I just
you didn't have an issue? You didn't have an issue when I answered your question. So where does the issue lie now? Because
let me just ask.
Because now you've got extra questions.
If Moses, can I say something? Because when we take it back to the Gabarian, we see, for example, the prophet Shamuel, when he was a little boy in the high priest's house. He heard a voice. He was in bed. He heard a voice, and he ran to the high priest and said, "Eli, did you call me?" And he said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back to bed." And this happened about two times. The high priest said, "Oh, that must be Yahweh who's calling you." Next time you hear the voice, just say, "Here am I." So, I mean, I know that Islam claims to follow the tradition of
so
the
that
tradition.
Because did the high priest hear what the little boy heard?
The high priest didn't, but obviously the high priest was used to the voice himself, and he realized, oh wait, this boy is hearing from Yahweh Alaino. Yeah.
How's he used to the voice if he didn't hear what the boy heard?
No, he didn't hear it. The boy was.
How can you know? So for instance, how can you know it's the same voice? Because like, if I hear a voice, if I heard a voice and you didn't know the sound that I heard, how would you know what sound it is? How would you know? So if I heard the sound and I run to you and I say, "Bro, I just heard the sound," how would you know what sound it was?
At first, he wasn't able to identify it himself. He wasn't. At first, he goes, "I didn't call you. Like, why are you coming to me? Go back to sleep." And because the boy consistently came to him, he concluded he must be. How? Because I wasn't there. I'm just relaying a narrative to everybody that within the Hebrew traditions, there's different ways of the Most High communicating with people, and that's one where he directly communicated. Where I can think off the top of my head, where he directly communicated with a prophet, because this is when he started hearing from the Most High, and he became one of the greatest prophets of Yahushua, aka Israel.
Okay.
It's just something I'm just throwing in
I get
there.
what you're saying, but I get what you guys are saying, and I don't have an issue. Obviously, you guys believe, God can speak with human beings and stuff. But me personally, if this all-powerful God, he's created everything, like you said, and everything that he's put in creation, has some sort of order and law to it. So human beings are made for the earth. We can't just jump up now and just fly into space, and start hitting things in space. So we have certain qualities that the creator created for us. Now, if you're now going to say that the creator who created certain things for us in this universe that we're in, and now obviously the creator who's not in this universe, this is according to Muslims, I know, now he's able to communicate with things inside of a place that he can't communicate. He's able to communicate with things that he's not within, but yet in the laws and where the human beings are, hearing consists of vibrations and sound. So for instance, if
you're denying the concept of omniscience, omnipresence, then by you making that.
But then, no, but wait, if he's omnipresent, does that mean he's in the universe?
Okay, no.
Muslims don't believe he's omnipresent.
Wait, omnipresence just means that you're all at all places at all times.
Yeah, Muslims don't believe that. Well, Salafis don't believe that.
Okay, so who's he speaking on? This is what I'm saying. Who's the Bible speaking on? Are you speaking on a Christian basis?
Just to
clarify, can you repeat that again?
Just to
when
clarify,
you say omnipresence, who are you speaking on? Is that for Christians or Muslims? Because the Muslim brother just said you don't believe it. So.
Well, yeah. I can't speak for the Islamic version of concept of God, but but I'm speaking on behalf of the Bible.
I'm not talking about the Bible. I know what the Bible says. I know what the Bible says about omnipresence and all this. I'm talking about the Muslims, because dealing with the speech. Because
I assume that the Muslim God was omnipresent, but is the Muslim here saying that that's not the case for Islam?
Yeah, you just said that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we don't believe
that's new to me. I didn't know that. Okay.
You see, and this is the problem. So this is
Hold
where I'm saying it will make sense that God's be able to speak, because God is omnipresent, he's everywhere. But whereas when it comes to Islam, where God is not omnipresent, like the brother just said, how is he now communicating with things inside? You get what I'm saying? Inside.
Good question.
You see?
Now it's a good question, because I didn't know.
You're trying to limit God, though.
Yeah, if the God of Islam is not omnipresent, then we got a problem.
Listen, Kalam, I've
Real
got
quickly.
contact with you on Facebook. I'm going to send you all the evidences for what I've said today, because if I bring it to you now, it's probably going to take. And I always send you the evidences on Facebook anyway. So I'm going to get all the evidences for you, send it to you, and you can review it, because I've got work at 10 o'clock in the morning. I need to go now. So, brother, it was good, yeah?
No
Kalam, if you ever get any topics like this, just let me know, innit?
Yeah, I know, I should always holler at you. My good Salafi brother that comes in and represents, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, all right, then safe,
properly.
Guys, take care of yourselves. Good night. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, so real quickly, just to save some of my Muslim brothers that might be shouting at the screen right now, quickly, not all Muslims believe that God isn't omnipresent, but a good majority of my Salafi brothers definitely do believe that he isn't omnipresent, okay? But some do believe that he is omnipresent. Secondly, although they don't believe he is not omnipresent, they say that his knowledge is everywhere. Okay, so his presence is not everywhere, but his knowledge is everywhere. Because I already know they're gonna be calling me up and saying, "But Callum, man, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that?" All right, for you. Don't worry, I got you. So yeah, where we at right now? Let's continue with the conversation. I'm tired, you lot are real veterans and soldiers. I don't know how you stay up for so long. It's 2:30 in the morning. We still got over 130 people tuned in right now. Family, if you're loving what we're doing here at Titans TV, I beg you hit the like button and show us your appreciation real quickly. Yeah, hit the like button. You lot are soldiers. Some of you lot have been here for like 4 hours straight. You know what? Yeah, if nobody else doesn't say it to you, I appreciate you. Yeah, real talks. I appreciate you guys who spend your time chilling with us and actually getting involved and jumping on. Yeah. So real quickly, again, you know, what I've realized on here is this, that a lot of the biblical and the Quranic allegories and mythologies and metaphors and symbolism, a lot of them are interpreted as being literal, and we always have a conflict when different schools of thoughts heads over saints, because some are seeing it from a completely different light. Some are looking at it from a scientific perspective, and some are looking at it from a reality, an artificial reality perspective. And it's very interesting to see. But let me continue this online live for another 10 minutes, and then we'll shut down the show, and then we'll continue this off air. How's that sound?
Cool.
Yeah, that's
all right. Go on. I don't know. Whoever wants to go first, go first.
Yeah. Just to finish.
Gab's a question.
Oh, okay, go on.
I just want to know,
No, go on, Gabs. I want you to finish off. You're about to finish off something. Hold on, Mohin. Let Gabs finish off his point. Go ahead.
Okay, now I was just gonna say what I was saying to, I think his name's the Kel. Yeah, but that was the point that I was basically getting at, because from a Christian standpoint, I get when you say God's omnipresence, hence why He's able to talk to, you know, the prophets and you know, the people in the biblical narrative. But you know, coming from an Islamic narrative where, you know, like the brother Kalam quickly just mentioned, obviously not all Muslims obviously follow that same understanding, but some people, some Muslims believe that, you know, God, Allah is not omnipresent, so, and He's outside time, space, and the universe. So my thing was, how was He communicating with human beings? You see what I'm saying?
Okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't. One last word. You know, there's things in the universe that can't be explained. Like, you know, well, they can be explained, but you'd have to go through like rigorous, different types of explanations and trial and error. If you try to go to the supernatural, you know, something that's not part of the universe, and as a human with your limited faculties, you try to put your head around it, like try to wrap your head around it, it's going to be quite difficult. Like, if you like trying to, you get my point? Like trying to wrap your head around.
I get what you're saying, and you're right. Exactly, we can't, because we're human beings. So the supernatural wouldn't make no sense to us. We can't wrap our heads around it, because our heads are not made for that. God, the Creator created our minds for this universe and for the environment that we're in.
Right. So then why do you need, like, why?
So
you
hold on. So hold on, wait. What's wrong with just saying you don't know? There's no shame in it, you know.
No, actually, saying you don't know is very, very humble. But the problem is when you say you don't know something and then you turn right around out of the same sentence, making a positive claim. And I mean,
what's the positive claim?
Like a mixture of the two. I mean, you could say, I don't know what was before the universe was, you know, started. But then you can't turn around and say, well, you know, this is how we know the universe started, because the textbooks say so. Well, if that's the case, then you can just
Vettel.
Is that something? No, wait. Now then it will come to the point of, okay, is that something that you believe, or is that something that you can actually verify? If it's something that you believe but you can't prove, then nobody's going to hold that against you, because that's your personal belief.
Mr. Vettel, I would encourage you.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, but it has no consequence to me. What I'm trying to say to you is, Mr. Vettel, watch the video at some point and listen to what I said initially. I'm not going to say it again. It's too late in the day.
I listened very well.
No, clearly you didn't.
That's
because
why
you're
I
repeating the
wasn't
same
really going to have a
diatribe
problem
that
with what you
doesn't
said.
make any sense. It doesn't have no correlation to what I said at all.
No, actually it does. That's why I wasn't the only one that had a problem with what you were saying. Because the first thing you said was there was you said, you affirmed that there was nothing before the universe or something like that. And when you made that statement, that caused me to ask, how did you know that?
Listen, what do you mean something like that? If you're gonna quote me. What do you mean something like that?
Well, I don't remember.
Let someone else talk.
But
Somebody else talk, man. This is
you either affirmed that there was nothing in the universe, I think you said that there was nothing in the universe.
You think I said?
We back on this again?
Yo, Gabs.
Yeah, the brother had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what you were saying before.
Okay.
I just want to know, first of all, what's your religion?
I don't have no religion. Don't follow no religion.
So you're not Kemet.
Kemet is not religion.
So,
Are you Kemet though?
What does that mean?
Like, are you black?
Am I black?
Yeah.
Do you practice Kemetic science?
Okay.
Did this guy just say, "Are you black"?
Yeah.
What has that got to do with anything?
If you can see my picture, then your answer's there. Yeah.
What's that got to actually do with anything?
No, but serious question, Gabs. Do you worship the sun?
No, I don't.
But what was your point before when you talking about the sun giving birth to other stars? Like, I don't get that point.
He said the sun is God.
Okay. No, I didn't say that. I didn't
Gabs.
say that.
Oh my! All right, bro.
But Gabs, why was the sun bigger than the sun?
The brother's asking a question, so don't ask the question for me because I didn't. At no point did I say the sun is God. All I was talking about when you're talking about the sun is that I said can anybody name me other than the sun anything that explodes, or changes like that, anything out in the universe in space.
I do remember hearing you say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what?
God.
So what?
What's the brother gonna say? I think worldview comes into everything, because if we presume that everyone's coming from the same worldview, then I think we're deluded. Everyone's coming from different worldviews. So, like, if you go back to the title of this thing, who is the Most High, myth or reality, who everyone sees as the Most High will be different based on our worldview. For example, talking from for lack of a better term, scientific, modern day scientific worldview frame, and he's seen from that way. Whereas other persons may be going from their traditions and how their traditions shape their worldview, or how the world looks, how the universe looks, or what we call the universe looks. So I just want to put that in there. So that everybody understands that we're not coming from the same worldview, and that's a very important thing to understand, isn't it?
I just want to know, what was the brother's, the one who asked about the Kemet? What is your point?
I want to know as well. He was asking me, yeah.
Because when I heard you talk about like the sun being God and everything, I just wanted to know what kind of religion teaches that.
I didn't. That's what I said. I didn't say. For one, I didn't even mention that the sun was God. I didn't mention.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's all video. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
Yeah, you choose to hear what you want to hear, Mr. Abdul.
It's on video, Buddha. Buddha is on video. It doesn't matter.
But
that's why we went back to the question when I'm trying to find out what is your perception of God. Because if I say that the sun is God to me, who's going to ridicule me?
Yeah, I just might ask you a couple of questions. It's nothing. You believe what you want to believe.
If you were coming from the same worldview as me, then I could correct you, but you're not. So I can't correct you. You're coming from.
And this is my whole point. So when you're going at Gabs to say Gabs said the sun is God,
what religion was Queen Sheba part of?
The sun gives us our 4 seasons. Correct? The sun tells you when to sleep.
Well, it doesn't really do anything. It's just its effect. It has.
Does anyone know what religion?
Are you serious? The sun doesn't do anything. Is that what you just said, bro?
I mean, in a way.
Come on. Not in a way enough. The sun is the giver.
What did he say?
The sun don't do nothing.
I'm saying, I didn't say that. I mean,
oh my word.
The sun doesn't think and think. The sun
is the life giver. Do you not understand this? The
sun
gives
the sun
life.
Doesn't think. My point is, the sun doesn't think.
Doesn't have to think. It
gives. The sun's sentient.
The sun doesn't have to think. It just is. But at the end of the day, simple question: the sun. If our sun was to explode right now, what will happen to human beings?
Bye.
Yeah, you know the sun doesn't actually exist.
So what?
It's actually a hologram.
Okay.
Rubbish trolling, man. We got time for that rubbish.
On that note, I think it's time for us to go to our beds, or at least come off of Titan TV for now. Okay? Yes. So, anyways, family. You laugh. Funny as hell. All right. Let me quickly check on here. What? Hold on. Is that Hecken in their chair? So my brother Asar, I beg you just click the link that's underneath here in the description box. We need you in here, man. I need you in here. But family, I'm about to go to bed right now. Yashub, you need to take off one of your icons or avatars so other people can jump in, because so far you're taking up 2. I can eject one, but if I eject one and you jump off accidentally, you won't be able to come back in again. So if it's possible, if you could just turn off one. But anyways, yeah, family, we've reached the end of the show. If anybody would like to jump in, please hit the jump in button right now and get involved with the conversation. But anyways, it's been a long show, 4 hours long, and I don't want to hit the 5-hour mark. Family, I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace and love. Amen.